Welcome back to episode 263 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast. My name is Josh. I'm here with Baba Louie. I'm here with Phil.
It's Baba Louie's Hobby Hot Takes Show with producer Phil and cousin Josh.
You're up.
What's going on? Cousin Josh? Are you the TV repairman too? And I'm at work? Get out of here.
It's a sitcom. Oh, we need a laugh track if we're going to have a sitcom. But...
Oh, my apologies. I didn't pick up on that. But well done. Well done.
Oh, thanks.
Show me that smile and show me that smile.
Hey, Phil, we're twinsies.
Yeah, you woke up and chose uniformity today, I see. I never wear this. And here we are.
I don't wear much either. But Baba Louie wears his, and then me and Baba Louie got the Gong Show hat. Somebody mentioned in a comment, like, where's Phil's Gong Show hat? I'm like, he has one. He's just...
Oh, I think that's a guy on my ball team. Yeah, he texted me that too. He said he thought it might be a silent protest for my contract dispute. And I said, no, it's not a silent protest. I'm afraid to put the sweater in the dryer, and I'm also afraid to wear the hat because when I sweat, it expands and contracts, and then it gives me a headache. And the lights already give me a headache. So do you put your sweater in the dryer? I should ask Jenny, eh?
No, I don't. I do my own laundry, man.
Oh, yeah?
I'm a modern male.
Just like all the good listeners, eh? They're all doing their own laundry. Sure, boys.
Oh. Holy boy. Hi, Louie. How are you?
Great. Wonderful.
Okay.
On the bus.
Louie's watching the weather, trying to see if he's going to plow the roads tonight, keep Minnesota safe. But weather's trending to be not so snowy. So, yeah. Well,
whatever.
Maybe you get to sleep tonight. Sure. Okay. It's a huge day. I'm totally frazzled. We'll get into that in a minute. But Phil, before we do, there's a couple things we got to get through. First of all, you want to preview what's happening Friday night with Phil? Do you have any plans?
Be pretty standard one in the hibernation of winter. We have a couple of guests. They are not confirmed, so I don't want to lie. But pretty close. Got a couple of emails I need to respond to. They were very heartfelt. I got one 2 days ago and one today, and I will respond. Yeah, this email thing's working out great. We have Clear Cut. We're opening up Clear Cut, brought to you by Out of the Box. They sponsor the second box that I give away at about halfway or 2/3 through the episode. I always feel like if I do it last, I'm paying for people's love, and we don't want that. I don't want to pay for your love. I want it for free, you know? And
I'll pay for your love.
Got some good topics we'll always chat about. I'd love the chat to bring up topics. Maybe we could talk about them.
Sure.
Yeah. I like paying attention to the chat. That's what the people want. So that's what I'll do.
I think my chats are being censored.
Yeah, I think Hasselhoff put you two on restriction after the Josh had a few too many pops maybe and started playing music randomly in my episode. And then he blamed it on a gunky mouse. Oh, it wasn't my fault. The mouse was gunky.
It happens. Gunky mouse is a thing. Hey, we've all got our problems. I suffer from gunky mouse. Leave me alone.
Is that how you got your wife? Jesus. Don't tell the ladies that, gunky mouse boy.
I want to make a mention quickly and then ask you guys about GP, new sponsor for show. So they're big. This is kind of the first time we get to pump their big Friday night breaks. Very excited about that. You want to reserve your spot at gpsports.com. They always have a big Friday night mega mixer. They're going to be doing some cup breaks, some buybacks kind of stuff. Grant does a great job mixing it up. Phil, you're working with Grant on a collab during the Quebec City Expo.
It's very loose.
That sounds like a train wreck.
You threw me into this. You like, I don't know, you and Grant have to do something. All right, have fun. I'm like, what?
I like to volunteer your services. It makes me happy.
Listen, let's rewind the tape a little bit. Grant's breaks on Friday night are epic, and I'm telling you that as the biggest fan, and I'm also telling you that as a competitor, even though I don't look at it that way. But Grant does his. I start my breaks Friday nights with Phil on Friday nights at 9:00, and Grant starts at 5 or 6, and he goes all the way to like 11 or midnight, sometimes even 1. And well, I guess pretty tired and cranky by then, and his parents tell him to go to bed. So. Other than that,
you got a couple good options on Friday night.
You have great options. Yeah, no, the opportunities are endless. It's a great watch. I highly recommend it. Skip my show completely one time or go back and forth. It's He has some huge cards. His giveaways, his buybacks are phenomenal. You tell me a better giveaway for breaks. I can't find one because Grant's a really, really true collector. I mean, if you listen to our last podcast, he explains it, but he's a beauty, 100%.
Yeah, so you went back and listened to it because you weren't there. Anything that stood out to you in particular in that conversation with Grant?
Well, half of the thing was his life story. I mean, come on, Grant. Holy crap. No, yeah, I loved it. It was great. No, it was good. I love his back in the day, and he's like 12. He's like,
he started breaking when he was 12. Can you imagine buying into a break? Oh,
have his brother be the voiceover.
It's so refreshing to hear a young man with a good head on his shoulders. I was not doing those things at those ages. So good. Grant is 20 years ahead of most of us. So good for him. Beyond honorable. And I love all our sponsors. We pick and choose, and it's fantastic. I love and trust all our sponsors, and Grant is no different. Welcome to the family, man. Big fan.
All right, really quickly before we get started, because we got a big show, as a reminder that our show, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, is a Patreon podcast. What that means is we rely on the support of listeners and watchers like yourself to help us cover our show expenses, continue to produce more and better hockey card content, and then fund initiatives to grow the hockey hobby, which we've done in a major way, and we're going to talk about pretty soon in today's show. It's very easy to support us. You can go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, click on the Become a Patron link, go to Patreon's website, patreon.com, search for our show, Hockey Cards Gong Show, or there's a link in the YouTube and podcast descriptions and Instagram and TikTok profiles as well. Since our last show, we have one new patron. Want to welcome to the fam. It's already in the Discord, chatting away. East Coast 76.
Oh, I know him. He's very complimentary, I believe. I think so.
Maybe that's nice. I like complimentary people.
Yeah. East Coast is great. What's up, man?
Yeah. All right. Thank you. We really appreciate your support, and glad to see you chatting in Discord already. All right, producer Louis, Baba Louis, the man of many names.
Yes, sir.
Let's go with the game plan.
Time to go with the game plan. Going to be a fun one today, guys. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Starting off with get to know your Hall of Famers. And following that, we're going to jump into we built a new checklist site, hockeychecklist.com. Then it's some hobby news. And after that, we're going to go into a hobby deep dive sets edition. Following that, we got a new segment, burning hobby question.
Ooh, Louis, nice typography there.
You like that?
Oh, that looks great, Louis. Louis, that looks awesome. Good job.
Then it's some new product releases. Then our favorite Fanatics Weekly hockey preview. Some personal pickups. I even have one. Wow.
Ooh.
Good for you. Good for you.
It'll be fun.
All right, boys, let's get this started. Another great get to know your Hall of Famer today. So we're ready to continue with the 1952 Hall of Fame class in our Get to Know Your Hall of Fame series. We have 3 players left to profile from 1952. And if you're new to the show, well, welcome. In the series, we cover briefly the lifetimes and hockey career and hobby market for every Hockey Hall of Famer. We started with the very first Hall of Fame class in 1945 and are working our way up to present day. Today's Hall of Famer we're going to learn more about is MacKay. Anyone?
No.
MacKay? Anyone?
Yeah.
Hey,
Mickey stand short for anything? Oh. Mickey stand short for anything? No, that's just the full name.
Oh yeah, there's always a full name. All right, so let's dive into our boy Mickey.
Oh yeah, like Dick and Richard, right. The same, or Bill and William.
Sure. I love how you go immediately to the Dick and Richard. Wouldn't expect anything less. All right, Duncan McMillan, Mickey MacKay.
McMillan.
Lived from 1894 until 1940. He was born in Chelsea, Ontario, Canada. You ever been arrested there, Phil?
No. What the heck is wrong with you? No. I know Chelsea, Quebec. I don't know Chelsea, Ontario.
Oh, okay.
I know Chelsea.
Jesus, what's man? Okay, go ahead.
He learned to skate at 15 years old, and 5 years later was a professional hockey player. That's pretty crazy.
Oh, wow.
And in a hockey career that spanned 16 years, MacKay would play for the Vancouver Millionaires, Chicago Blackhawks, Pittsburgh Pirates, and Boston Bruins. Now, in case your brain is currently locked up, Mickey MacKay was not a baseball player. The Pittsburgh Pirates were actually an NHL team from 1925 until 1930. The name was taken from the baseball team. So they got uncreative and just copied the name.
They got their old uniforms. They just restitched them.
Similar colors and everything. They had their own
There
logo.
you go. They're confirmed.
Although MacKay played for NHL teams, his legacy is in fact more as a PCHA star, which is the Pacific Coast Hockey League, for the Vancouver Millionaires. He would end up leading the PCHA in goals 3 times and in assists twice. Lester Patrick would end up, or one of the founders of the PCHA, would call MacKay the greatest center to ever play in the Coast League. When the league folded, Mickey MacKay ended as its all-time leading scorer. MacKay would win 2 Stanley Cups during his career, once with the Millionaires in 1915 and then once with the Boston Bruins 14 years later in 1929. Now, why should you care about Mickey MacKay? MacKay was a key figure in early professional hockey, known for his elite goal scoring and playmaking ability. He was a star with the Vancouver Millionaires, and his skillful and flashy style of play delighted fans. He was a fan favorite. MacKay was also one of the only PCH players to successfully transition from the PCHA to the NHL. He scored 100 points in 164 NHL games later in his career, and also served as the Chicago Blackhawks' first ever captain during the 1926-27 season. So now when we look at the hobby market, MacKay's career spanned from 1914 to 1930. So I'm thinking, oh, great, we're going to have some cards. Because there were hockey cards produced during that span, like especially in the early 1920s, it's like the chocolate or candy era, right? It's like Dominion chocolate or whatever. But I cannot find any plain day cards for him. So, Phil, that leaves us with what?
No, don't say it.
Yep. Trust 85 Cardophilium hockey set where you can pick up a Mickey for about $1 whole raw.
Yeah. I'm going after this. This is a heavy hunt. Listen, I'm going after this because I want to pull up
hunt like super heavy. They're about $1 a piece. So,
doggy.
Are you going to try to own every Cardophilium card? I have 700 Mickey MacKay.
What? No, one is fine of these cards. Yeah. I wonder, I had a big crush on Becky MacKay in elementary school. I wonder if there's any relation.
Your dad. Your dad was born in 1894.
What? I'm an 81 baby. What are you talking about? No, he'd be my grandpa.
Her dad was 80 when she was born. He was
yeah. Well, he's got strong.
Dad when he was 46.
That's crazy. Good for him.
Math isn't adding up here. All right, so that's your Hall of Famer, Mickey MacKay.
Wow.
Absolutely love doing these profiles. Okay, now we're gonna get right into it. This is a big day for us.
Yeah,
kind of a big announcement. Sort of already get it in the game plan, but for a year we've been working on a special project, and it's a project that's been mostly kept under wraps. I'm not a big teaser, right? Just like to do it and show it when it's done, sort of thing. It all started, guys, when Cardboard Connection stopped. Whatever happened to them? I mean, I don't even know exactly. They just stopped posting checklists, or it was always Beckett and Cardboard Connection every time a checklist was posted. And on this show, we do a lot of research. And I'll admit, I mean, I was a Cardboard, if it's like Coke and Pepsi, I was a Cardboard Connection guy. So I was a little bummed when they stopped because I didn't love, Beckett puts the information there, but it's just kind of like a splat on the screen, and you end up like with your scroll mouse going like frenetically scrolling up and down 8,000 times and back and forth to find all the information you needed. And after a few weeks of trying to do the show with the Beckett site, I got the idea that maybe the whole concept of a checklist needs to be reimagined. And what would that look like? Then I talked to Troy about it, and we talked and talked. To be honest, he didn't like it.
I spit on it. But
he just didn't get it, right? And which is fine. And because sometimes I'm not the best at like translating whatever that vision would be, but he trusts me, right? And so he's like, okay, let's do it. And I didn't want to have like a 2% better version. If I was going to do this, I wanted to completely like reimagine how it could be done and be a lot more user friendly. I've come from the digital media and software as a service background, so I know a little bit about how to make some of these sites. And I thought, okay, well, we got to do it the right way. And, like it's a little spendy, but it was just the way to go. And so we ended up hiring what's called the UX UI designer. That stands for user experience, user interface. So these are people that specialize not just in making websites that look nice, but websites that are functional, that are easy to use, easy to navigate, don't include extra crap. And, because with the checklist, you don't typically want to loiter, right? You want to get in, boom, 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 find what you want and get out, right? That's the idea. Phil, you know about that.
Mhm.
And so yeah, we worked for a number of months with the designer, kind of went back and forth. It's always
You're
hard
glossing
to
over a big part. So we were communicating and it was challenging, but we made it through and we're both better people
well,
because of it. That's what you meant to say, right?
well, the designer, yeah, you're trying to explain this crazy hobby to people that have expertise like in development or design, but they don't understand like
Never seen
how
ice in their life, probably.
weird we are about that. And so once we had the designs, then I had to find a development firm that could build this and do it on a podcast budget, which was a little bit of a challenge, and that took about 6 months. And so the site is done, is up. We're going to kind of show you how it works. But before we do that, I just want to mention some of the like when you went back to when we were building the requirements and thinking about even doing this, like what some of the goals were. Well, first of all, I wanted to have a site that's mobile first. So if you go to like Beckett or Cardboard Connection, it's just a big blob of data that was really, these websites were designed 10 years ago.
Mhm.
And when people sat at computers, and now we sit on our phones.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're kind of like pinching to make them the text bigger, smaller, and
Go to the
lose
bathroom.
stuff. And it's like I wanted everything to be first designed for phone. It works well on desktop, but the primary sort of audience would be a person on their phone. I already mentioned wanted it to be like fast, right? So you can come in, you can quickly search or drill down or find in a big set like the cup or other sets, quickly find what you're looking for, and then give more information than current sites give to actually, like, a big one that we'll show in a second is for all the ultra modern stuff where we have the checklist spreadsheets, where we can show the card thickness, right? So how many times, like, if you pulled like a doubloons card out of a lure and wanted to
Mhm.
buy a one touch and trying to figure out, well, what the heck size one touch do I
Or
need?
ask us. And they're like, Phil, how you love doubloons? How big are they? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, what?
I
Just
don't know.
like if the last person asked, I have no
Yeah.
idea, and I should know. So the site, and Josh, the second thing I want to add is that this site, I always told Josh, if a breaker needs this as a tool, so we can use Grant since he's top of mind. If Grant uses this website more than anything else for his business and uses it as just a regular civilian consumer, that's the goal. And that's how you know it works, right? And they don't even think about it. You don't, it's just a tool in our hobby. That's what this is all about.
100%. And thank you for saying that. And so we built the site, and what we're committed to doing is every new checklist going forward will be on the site, and then we're also working backwards. So if you go to hockeychecklist.com, like if you're listening and not watching and won't see the little demonstration in a second, you'll see that there's, I think, 14, 15 checklists on the site now. We're kind of working feverishly over the past couple weeks, and we're just
SP
at a
Legends,
starting point.
SP Legends is on there. I know everyone's wondering about that.
Yeah,
Josh
SP Legends. I
stayed
did
up
it
pretty
for
late
Phil.
on that one because all I had to do was mention it. Josh, do we have SP Legends on the checklist site? And he's, it's all you have to do. I knew he was not going to go to bed and make sure that one was on there.
We don't, but hey, give me a second.
Yeah, it's not a second. They take a long time.
Long time.
And part of that, what is, and I think that'll help explain why it won't be like snap your fingers. We'll have I do want my goal is to have every hockey product ever built on this checklist site. But again, the focus is more quality than quantity. So there's a way to just throw these up on a website, just like Beckett does, right? But it actually takes like 4 or 5 hours to do it the way we're doing it. I hope to get it faster at some point because it's a long time.
Hire
But
kids, man. Slave labor. Hire a bunch of
you have to know how these
11 listen,
products work.
11, 12-year-olds are pretty smart these days. Throw them $5 an hour. They're maybe 10 an hour. Put them in a basement. They're fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm joking for the record. 100% kidding before anyone takes that seriously.
After the hour and a half we spent yesterday on one minute little issue,
Comma,
get
one comma.
a comma, one comma. Comma
Always
and
a
code
comma.
does not go well
No.
together.
Yeah, it was like somebody's name, comma, junior. Did not like that at all, right? So, yeah. So we're up. It's baby version 1. We're announcing it today. We want people to use it to test it. The big thing is to reach out to us and let us know if you find an error or a bug because we want to get that fixed. I mean, and then we're also taking new feature ideas because we've already got a bunch from the little small testing group that we've had. But the idea is if people like the site, if people use the site, then we'll continue to invest more into it and build off of what we have. And my goal is to build an ultimate tool for the hobby.
Bingo. Right
And
there.
I think because I'm a power user, and I'll explain in a little bit like how I've been using this myself. I think it's the best checklist site there is. I feel really confident, and we worked a year on it and spent a lot of money building it. It's better than any basketball checklist. It's better than any football checklist. I want to build an amazing tool for the hobby. Now, this is technically a business, but it has really no business model. I hope that we can at some point recoup the money that we spent on it. But this, like, we're to go back to, we say every day in our little Patreon spiel, fun initiatives to grow the hockey hobby, right? And I'm sure a lot of people are like, yeah, blah 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 blah, right?
Here
Well,
it
we've
is.
done Rip Party, and for a year we've been pouring money into this because I want the hockey hobby to have an amazing tool that can enhance the collector experience. And if that
I was going to say, so after you pay your $100 membership lifetime fee, you can use this checklist as long as you want forever. It's great. And all complaints go to Troy Iverson.
all complaints go to Troy Iverson. No, there's no, I haven't even thought of a motto because it's like,
It's free. I'm kidding. Yeah, it's completely free.
It is free. Personal preference 1 would be to make the money back I spent on it. Personal preference number 2 is even if I never make the money back, if it's a tool that the hobby loves and uses and helps people, then it's a win. Right? I mean, really, it's like there's not the best use of technology. All the sites that we use are ancient, right?
Modernized.
And so, like I said,
It's
wanted to
your
modernize it.
baby idea modernized it, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say this. Remember, Josh, I told you a few days ago. I can guarantee there's going to be a few people listening to this. They're going to be like, "Oh, that was my idea to modernize the checklist." I get it, but Josh put the wheels in motion, and he's my boy, man. That's my boy, Blue. He put That's why I'm attaching my wagon to this and this, and because he started this snowball, and everyone's like, "Yeah, I guarantee you, a lot of people," but he did it. Josh did it. He looked inward, didn't talk. My buddy Gord Downey said this. No one's interested in something you didn't do, but a thing was done, and it's going to be a great thing for the hobby. And Josh, a collector website, a checklist website by a collector. Think of it that way. Yeah.
Dang it, why isn't this in here? Gosh, I wish I knew this information. Or why won't they just tell me what size top loader this goes in?
Yeah, we'll try and find out.
All that crap that it's like this should all be in one spot.
Yeah.
Where I really started to get excited about this, and I've told you guys this when we weren't recording, is every time a new set comes out, like right now we're showing the brand new 24-25 O-Pee-Chee paper hockey checklist. I just put up today. Anytime a product comes out, we do a checklist review on our show. It is by far, not even close, has been my least favorite part of doing our show. Not that I know we need to get the information out, but like O-Pee-Chee paper has like 8,000 cards on a spreadsheet.
Hmm.
So it takes hours to make sense of it, right? And then try to figure out how to translate it to an audience in a somewhat entertaining way that actually gets people excited about the set, helps them understand what the key cards are. The last couple of those reviews with the lure and clear cut, I've used this site and it made it infinitely better for me because I could see how the product works. I could see how the sets are structured and it gave me an understanding of what those products were all about. And it was very easy to find information and just absolutely loved it. And so gonna just demonstrate a couple of quick things as you guys hopefully are going to hockeychecklist.com and checking it out. First of all, when you go to any checklist page, like here we are on O-Pee-Chee hockey, it's sometimes easy to overlook, but at the top of the page is a product quick search and then there's drill downs. These are really important tools for this to help you like look here if you can see O-Pee-Chee the base set has actually 600 cards. I've broken it up into veterans, all-stars and rookies. That's a huge amount of cards to have to scroll through. Right? This is what we do on Beckett, right? To find the card you're looking for. Well,
Busy.
Phil is is a Ottawa Senators fan. In the player search, you can either search for like Brady Kachuk, or let's say you just want to know how many Senators cards are in the product. So I just search Senators, and instantly it pulls up. So in the base set, there's 16 cards, right? Starting with Brady Kachuk, card number 6. In the All Stars, there's Brady Kachuk. There's one rookie, Zach Ostapchuk, or whoever that is, Phil.
Oh, that was pretty
And
close. Yeah.
and then you go through all the entire set and you can see. So this is like where you're saying the breaker. If you want to like look at, or maybe you want to buy a break spot, you can see these are all the
Yeah.
Senators cards.
You said, Josh, don't gloss over that. That's huge because Grant does like player selects, or sometimes he does a random player select. And if you get, I don't know, Dylan Gunther. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm excited I got a good player, but I would go. Where would I go and type in Dylan Gunther, the cup? Like, what are all his unique cards that I would be potentially to get? The website will tell you. You just scroll, type in Dylan Gunther, the set. You have it
Yep.
all visually
Mhm.
as well. You know, but I'm assuming most of our listeners can read well, so you
Sure.
get best of both worlds. Yeah, don't call it, but that's huge for people that do breaks. Huge.
The other thing then, and so right now you can search by a team names like Senators, Wild, Rangers. We're adding location right now. That depending on when you're listening to this or watching it, that may or may work. They're literally the ones and zeros, and the programmers are doing that. So you'll eventually be able to search by Ottawa, Toronto, Minnesota, etc. Then, though, the other important kind of tool to help you very quickly find what you're looking for is the drill downs. So as you could, one of the things, like I'm going to select inserts from the drill down. Now, unfortunately, StreamYard doesn't show pop-ups, but so by going to inserts, I've automatically now isolated every insert set, but there's a number of them. One of the inserts I love in O-Pee-Chee is the 3D lenticular marquee rookies. So I can just go and on the right drill down, select that, and it instantly pulls up the set that has all 12 cards.
So good.
So now I
It's
can
so
see,
exciting.
Yeah.
these are the rookies that are in the set. There's a Macklin Celebrini. It tells you it's lenticular. Now, here's the next big thing about how this checklist site works. Whether you're on mobile or on desktop, you either click or tap into every player and it shows you. So the thickness of a 3D marquee rookie is 41.5, right? And whether it's short printed or serial numbered or autoed, it'll tell you that. Let's go back and look at some other sets like the retro set, right?
Are you gonna
So
say
if
the
we
eBay
go,
thing? Are you gonna say the eBay thing?
yeah, I will.
Okay. Okay.
So if we look at like the retro veterans here, right? When you tap into a card like Nathan McKinnon, it shows you the parallels as well. So the regular retro is like 101 hobby. There's a black border out of 100. There's blank backs, which are unannounced, and then printing plates for those cards. Now, Phil mentioned when you tap or drill into a card, there's an eBay link too. So that's a way to search for that card on eBay. Now, it's not going to be a very fruitful search in this case because the set isn't out yet. The one, but it will get you. But the one thing though that I will mention is we were able to get approved as an eBay affiliate, and one way where we're hoping to, because not only the I'll just be honest, like the 5-figure plus development costs of this site and the ongoing servers and maintenance and all the features we're going to add. If you buy any card on eBay, not just the card that you're clicking on, within 24 hours, we'll earn a small commission. So I guess,
Please.
hey,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey, by the way, it's if you're already doing a thing, could you just add one step, maybe
Do a
one
thing.
step and 3 clicks and use the eBay clicker thingy? It would really be great.
it doesn't cost you anymore. It helps us kind of, continue to add improvements and features to the site. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, we've got, I think, 15 or so checklists now, right? I'm going now to the Allure, the next product that comes out. Again, very base heavy set. You can look at like Barkov and you can see its base are 27 point for Allure, all the 10 different parallels that are there. We talked about doubloons,
Yeah.
right? So I can go to the inserts there and see that there's 100 cards on the checklist. The cards are 74 point. The odds are 101 in 72 pack odds. And again, the idea is to just make it a really easy experience for you to quickly find what you're looking for. And we joked about the other day when, or a week ago, so Phil, when you bought into a break for Clear Cut and you bought
Yeah.
Pittsburgh trying to hit your Mario Lemieux and Sidney Crosby cards
4 times. 4 breaks I bought into. Yeah.
four times. Well, had you gone to our own checklist site,
Oh, stop.
and
I don't think it was up yet.
I think it was,
No, I don't
Pretty
think
sure
so.
it
But
was there.
okay, fine, sir. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
and you search for Mario Lemieux, you'll find that there's no cards in the set, right? And so it's a very easy way. It's instant, and again, the whole idea is to make it quick and easy to find what you're looking for. The only other maybe thing I'll add is that each set includes an overview. We'll kind of work on this as we go, but one of the things that I want to have an archive of is release dates, right? So I'm trying to go and find every release date when a product is. The type, is it hobby? Is it hobby and e-pack? Is it hobby retail? Right. So you have a good understanding of where this product was sold, and then what you expect in a box and all that sort of stuff as well. So trying to give you useful overview content for the set as well. So that's it.
Well,
Hockey checklist.
I'd like to show some of my excitement that this platform also presents a great opportunity for us because we are mainly collectors. So I feel like we represent a good part of the hobby here. What we always talk about, look at that Iserman Cup, that Iserman Exquisite card that with the allegedly fake patch. This platform gives us an opportunity to potentially open doors in the future for maybe a cup out of 99 out of 249 registry, and we could do it on a very small scale because there's a lot of data junkies out there, guys. Not everyone's outgoing. Most collectors are not on social media, right? That's right. Most collectors are not on social media. So maybe, but they would be on a PSA registry. This opens the doors to so many possibilities. We get a good cup checklist. We can do like a little beta program, like get Mitch Grotman on board, get Rourke on board, and Grant, and like big time collectors. I'd like to put my name on my over 10 Brady Tkachuk cup cards. I don't know how you would vet that. I don't know how you would do that.
Yeah.
But it opens a possibility. Also with other data junkies, I'm sure they would help Josh, right? Like sign into the website. People would do it for free. There's an inconsistency on something. I think it could do better if it does X, Y, and Z. I think we would love that feedback. But now I think the goal is to populate the website as beefy as possible with some iconic sets. That's why I was bugging Josh on the SP Legends and everything moving forward. So don't forget, Josh said that everything moving forward will be on the checklist on release day. So that's awesome.
And then we'll work back as we can, and all the way to 1910. I mean, I'm literally to the very first hockey set. I want to have every set ever made, and have like you said, Phil, there's a huge amount of opportunity to add features, but right now it's just more about getting people on the site, finding the
Mhm.
bugs, the errors, the issues, and then building that priority list of features we could have. Another person that thought of it, I thought this was really good, somehow integrating PSA, right? So if you're looking up a card and you want to find and go to the population report and
Oh,
see what the pop is on that card or something like that, that would be cool,
Mhm.
right? And yeah, the goal is just to make the best research tool possible for the hobby, and probably isn't there yet. The original, the stated goal is 30% better than Beckett, right? That's where I've been saying that for a year. If we can launch and we're that much better, then I'll be happy. And I think we've exceeded that, and I say that confidently because
Mhm.
these are tools I use every single day. So it's really easy to build a better solution when you use the product every day.
Yeah, a site made by users for users. I don't know. There's a slogan there somewhere. You gonna put a pack of darts there in 1910? Yeah, you're gonna put a pack of smokes up on your
No,
website?
we have 1911. Now, the funny, you want a funny little checklist story? So we have
Okay.
the second hockey card set ever made.
Why don't you do the first?
And because when the developers built you have to like pick the release year so it knows like what year to put it in. I told them to go back to 1910. They went back to 1911. So one of the things that the 1910 isn't an option, but I wanted to try. I got the
That's a
Renfro
tease, man.
Creamery Kings logos in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
buddy.
nice. Atta boy. That's a tease. Oh, we can give you the second year of hockey, not the first. You have to pay the $100 year
Yeah,
membership.
but I wanted to like put things in here too, and we can add more stuff like this, like the card dimensions, right?
Right.
So how often do you look in like what the heck size are these? Right. Well, wasn't hard to look up, right? So the 1911 C55 set is 1.5 inches by 2 5/8. So
Yeah.
why not put it on there, right? And we'll continue to add, again, as people have ideas. My hope is I'm overwhelmed with ideas from people and feedback. That would be great. And so, yeah, that's our big announcement. It's surreal. It's been hundreds of hours. The last 3 months have been very painful and very frustrating because in the way like that, a lot of software development projects work or building websites like this is it's a giant mess until the very end. And you feel like you're working and working and working and you're never making progress. It never looks right. It never works right. And it's so unsatisfying. That's like the best. It's like day after day. It's like, no, this is broken. It has to be like this. It
Like
has to
trying
be
to
like
get
that.
healthy.
We
Like trying to
forgot
get
this.
healthy and lose weight.
Yeah. And then finally it's just there and you're like, oh, it works.
Look.
So,
I
well,
can't
thanks
wait
for
till
everyone.
I can't wait till we get like Josh approved and Louis approved and Phil disapproved on all Leaf cards, right? I just want my face looking angry every Leaf card.
Oh, yeah. And I don't want to just have Upper Deck. I want to have President's Choice and Leaf and
Oh, you
Tops.
do?
And
Whoa,
yeah,
whoa.
why not?
Oh,
Yeah,
we'll
Eat
talk
all
about
of
it
it.
later. We'll talk about it later.
okay. Ah,
Oh,
so yeah, it's been frantic, and like I said, let us know. We hope you like it. HockeyCardChecklist.com. Now I need a nap
oh
because I've
yeah.
been very anxious about letting the cat out of the bag.
Exciting, Josh.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move on. Got to make a mention for our Gongshow partner sponsor, Slap Sharks. We're grateful again for their support of our show. The current Slap Sharks weekly eBay auction ends tonight. Remember, guys, there's almost 5,000 cards in this week's auction. Holy moly! Like,
Mhm.
what time do we got to get on and like brew? We need to like brew a pot of coffee or something. It's gonna be
Pretty
in one
late,
night.
man.
That's just incredible. They'll be ending fast and furious. Now, why are there 5,000 cards in the auction? It's because Canadian hockey collectors are overwhelmingly choosing to have Slap Sharks help them sell their cards on eBay. And well, maybe help isn't a strong enough word. You just submit your cards via their online system or drop them off at the Slab Sharks rep at a show or at a coffee shop, wherever, and they basically just do all the rest. They do all the work. You just kind of wait to get paid. Plus, your cards get listed, and they're very popular, and still somehow growing weekly auctions. So sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah,
For
buddy.
complete, yep. For complete consignment info, including payout rates, head to slapsharks.com. Get the process started today. Hobby news.
Hobby news.
Hobby news.
Okay, not a lot going on. Well, there's been a lot going on here, and so I haven't been kind of locked in my own dungeon of checklist sites, but
Hell, pure hell for you, the hobby people.
I did find one article that's pretty interesting. So it appears that Phil, that CGC has graded up to $1 million in fake Pokemon cards.
That look
or
pretty cute.
Forgered.
That
Yeah.
look pretty cute. Yeah.
Yeah, Phil. So have you heard about this drama in your what is it, pokers
No.
community or anything? Okay.
What's going on?
Okay. Well, sounds like that there were like some old prototypes that Pokemon was, or that CGC had graded, like up to 1,500 of them, and now they're recalling them because they appear to be forgeries. And now the other thing that's important to know is that these copies have already sold for more than $1 million total.
Oh boy.
TCG.
That's not good.
Sorry. Yeah, it's not good. I'm sorry.
Yeah. CGC has opened an investigation, is working with Takumi Akabane, I guess, who is one of the trading cards game's original designers, to identify these rare prototypes. It was discovered that some of those, though, were printed in 2024 and not 1990 when they were
Oh, wow.
originally supposed to be done. So that's a pretty strong indication that these are forgeries. Now, the grading company did have a couple of quotes that they gave to Collect. They said, "We stand by every card we grade. We're committed to addressing this matter thoroughly and professionally," CGC said. This investigation will take some time, but we'll provide updates as they're available. Now, in the meantime, auction houses like Fanatics Collect, who's a sponsor of our show, have preemptively removed the questionable cards from their auction, so good on them. And I don't know if this is one of the ones that is suspected to be a forgery, but just to give an idea of how valuable these can be, the highest sale for a Pokemon prototype was a CGC 10 that sold for $204,000 US in September, so they get pretty pricey. So what happens here? Does CGC,
Who's caught holding the bag, right?
yeah, are they refunding people that if you spent 25 grand on a card that CGC has authenticated?
You
Should
know,
they-
the one silver lining is I would think that the people that purchase some of these cards for these big figures, you generally have to be emotionally sound. I'm going to assume that they'll figure it out, right? Like there's going to be some big time lawyers involved on both parties. They will figure it out, and maybe it'll set a precedent moving forward. This isn't like a bunch of people screaming at a card show and the local police officers trying to figure it out, right? So
Yeah.
maybe there'll be a lot of lawsuits. Yeah, no.
And if you go, and I just read the one article on Collect, but if you go, I'm sure find other stuff. CGC seems pretty vocal and open and out front of this too, so I give them credit for that, not to be ostriching and trying to bury their head in the sand and pretend like it didn't happen, because this is what they're known for, is the TCG. And to, we talk about, a lot of times we talk about condition most often with grading and what the actual grade is, but a huge part of grading is authentication.
Yeah.
And if you no longer trust a company that they can authenticate cards, that's
It's a big hit. It's a big and they're the primary grader for trading card games, correct?
Mhm.
CGC.
Yeah.
Beautiful slabs too. Little bit of a blue tint, but great slab. And that's
Do you
very
like it when you say a
important.
little bit of a blue tint? Is that I like it or I don't like it?
I would prefer a slab without the blue tint, and I
Okay.
feel tag slabs and CGC slabs are almost identical. But there's you know what it is? It's one of those things. Now that I said it, you're not going to unsee it. Someone said it to me. I was like, "Oh, really?" And now I can't stop seeing it, especially under fluorescent lighting. Yeah.
Do you know?
And
Did you
go
read?
ahead.
Yeah, did you read, or do you know how they came across these being fake? Then
I think it's working with the original designer on board, is from what I understand. Maybe help them identify them.
Oh, the first person that found it fake, you mean, Louis?
yeah, like how did this
Well,
all of a
first
sudden come
domino,
up?
just
I'm-
one domino to fall, and there you go, right? That's what's weird. It's like maybe that exposes the quickness of the grading, right? Like, oh, it looks great. Okay, go. Oh, okay, it looks great. Like maybe their checklist, their 100, let's say they have a 100-point grading scale. Let's say they're
Yeah.
going through the first 65 very quickly, and it's just human nature. Like, right? Like, oh, well, obviously it's going to be real. Maybe that obviously became a little bit of culture. They just have 2 checks to make sure it's real. And the person that made the card used to work there. And they know if they just get past those 2 checks and then they get right up to 65 point right away, they're golden. They're laughing, And yeah, maybe it's an inside job. Like inside knowledge job, not inside like documentation. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? There's that's the beauty of that's one of the questions I put for our episode coming up with our questions with Karn is well, I won't spoiler alert it.
The thing I think that we always have to remember is criminals or people with bad intentions can be very smart too. And so I don't really blame CGC for making a mistake or not catching the forgeries. To me, it's all about what does the company do in this situation. Grant talked in his interview on our last show about how he had done his biggest break ever and, a long time ago when technology was bad and his stream got cut. And he had to refund everybody for their break spot and eat the cost of a case, which he used all of his money to spend on, right? But he is where he is today because of making decisions like eating the loss in the short term helped build trust with people for the long term. And that's what my hope is what CGC does here.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt they'll do the right thing, but I got no skin in the game, but I feel for them, man.
Yeah. It's such a behemoth, this Pokemon trading card game. I like saying TCG because it encompasses the whole thing. They'll just plow through this. It's human nature now. What happened? Nothing. Whatever. On to the next thing.
I don't know if they have a guarantee like PSA does, but like if this was PSA, I think it would fall within that. So if you bought a card for 25 grand and it's deemed then that was graded by PSA, or I assume that's how that works, right? Where then you just send it back and say, give me my 25 grand.
Yeah. I have I forgot to go deep into it, but I know that's our only hobby news, I think, is this.
Yeah.
So there is one thing, and I don't know much information about it because it just recently changed, and I saw it on I can't remember. It was a couple other channels on YouTube on some baseball channels. PSA changed their PSA 10 grading qualifications or metrics. You have to be 55-65 ratio now. If you're 60-40, you can't get a 10. That's big. That's huge. Yeah.
I like that move.
Yeah, it's a good move. I tighten it up. Now, will they still, if I got a PSA 10 in 2021, will they just and I cracked my label or case, would they still transfer it? Like, no, don't regrade it. I just want a new case.
Oh, probably if you rehold it, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't think that involves changing the grades. That would be
good.
I think people lose their minds if that happened for sure. But no, very, very good, Phil. Glad you brought that up. Louis, you got anything, or should we move on?
No, I don't got anything. It makes my stomach twist.
Okay, well, I'm really excited to move on back to Hobby Deep Dive Sets Edition. These are very fun for me to do. A lot of the fun is seeing which set people pick when we, do the polls, right? We come up with 4 options of notable or iconic sets. Then we throw them up on an Instagram poll, and you get to choose which one we do a deep dive on and learn more about. Okay, you can throw it back up there, Louis. Here's a quick recap of the sets we've done so far.
You want to see the poll? Hold on, here's the poll real quick.
Yeah.
Dirty Love girl. The hobby poll. I'll just read the last 4. We did Topps 2001 Topps Chrome Refractors. That was fun. Then we did Phil's Blast from the Past finally. Before that, Louis loves Upper Deck Choice Star Quest. And then we did 2015-16 the Cup, the show. So we're probably on number 13, 12, something like that at this point.
I didn't even see when did you do the did you just pick, or did you do a contest? What do they call that? A contest where you pick
a story poll? Yeah, it was yesterday. It was 2 days ago.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch it.
Well, you lost out.
Who won, man? What happened? Who won?
We'll see. All right, here we go. So here were the choices. Picked 4 different ones. We did 2018 Upper Deck Fanimation, 2012 Fleer Retro Electrifying, 2006 The Cup Limited Logos, and then 1997 Pinnacle Certified Mirror Parallels. I think maybe that one we did
Ooh,
before.
I hope
Now,
that
of
one
those,
won.
Phil, which do you think would have won?
Oh, which
Eight-
do I think would have won? Probably the limited logos.
Okay. Well, it actually ended up a pretty close race between Fanimation and Limited Logos, but you were right. The 2006 The Cup Limited Logos ended up with the highest percentage of votes, taking 31% of the vote. Second was 2018 Upper Deck Fanimation, and then third was 1997 Pinnacle Certified Mirror Parallels, and 2012 Fleer Retro Electrifying was fourth. You don't like Fanimation?
No, I love animation. I forgot that it was an option.
Good
I went for
job.
that one.
Good job, all you limited logo voters. Way
It's
to
Mitch
go.
Grumman and his 28 fake accounts. He
Okay,
voted.
but no,
He's a
no, no, no,
limited
no,
logos
no, no.
crackhead.
You guys are negative Nancy's. You guys are. I'm gonna think you're gonna be converted.
No,
5 minutes from now. Yes,
no,
you will.
I'm not a big limited logos. Oh,
Let's but okay, let's dig in, right? Because this is a very special set. So the limited logos checklist from 2006, the cup is pretty big. There's 95 total players on the checklist. The cards have a horizontal orientation. The lion's share of the cards are serial numbered out of 50, but there are a few exceptions, like Gordie Howe's out of 10, Rogie Vachon, Paul Henderson, Phil Kessel, Doug Gilmore out of 25.
Rogie
Now, when
Vachon.
you look, Rogie
Rogie
Vachon.
Vachon?
Rogie
Rogie
Vachon.
Vachon.
Now, Rogie Vachon. Now, the
I'm saying it weird.
you look at like the design. The focal point, of course, is the pretty big patch window. It's almost dead center in the card, and then you have the player photo on the left. Early cup, it reminds me of like very like industrial design. There's like little rivets that are kind of placed on there. It looks like
That's good. Have you ever seen the movie
metal plates.
Dark City?
No.
Oh, it'd probably scare you. Don't. But that's what it reminds me of. Good call. Yeah. Yeah.
I like puppy dogs and ice cream movies. All right. Now, because the patch window dominates so much of the midsection of the card, the one kind of unique thing is that the autograph is vertical.
Looks good.
On it's on the right side. So one thing to know there. Now, to get to the heart of why this is such a ridiculously cool and special set, it's really the combination of two things. The amazing players on the checklist and the huge game-used patches. So I'm going to just read some of the, and this is only some, right? You have Bobby Clark, Mike Bossy, Billy Smith, Cam Neely.
Look at that patch.
Oh, look at that patch. Dino Cicerelli, Dennis Savard, Dale Howarchuk, Dominic Hasek, Daryl Sittler, Gordy Effenhow, said it, Guy Lafleur, beautiful, beautiful card. Danny Heatley, Phil, Danny Heatley, Yari Curry. Look at this card.
That's sick.
Look at that patch.
Yachty.
Lanny McDonald, Larry Robinson,
Wait for
Martin
it.
Brodeur. Okay, Louis, are you ready to die? Phil, say goodbye to Louis. You got to do it. Louis, this card sold $230 last week.
What?
Yeah.
No, what?
Yeah.
Are you on eBay? On
I think so.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is some bad hunting. You did not. Oh man, we're like mediocre hunters. Imagine who bought that. Who bought that? That's crazy. They must have. That's nuts.
They're like dancing around their living room.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's pretty wild, man.
Okay, Mario Lemieux, Mike Madonna, Louis, Mike Madonna. You ever heard of him?
Oh, look at that patch. That's awesome.
Ovi, Patrick Waugh, Peter Stastny, Borje Salming. What patch is this, Phil? Do you know? That can't be. Is that a Quebec patch?
No, that's probably a Maple Leaf patch, but it's probably on the. They did a lot of tribute thing. You know, it could have been a local reporter who passed away, or they're someone they honored. It could be something from that.
Then Sidney Crosby, Wendell Clark, and then of course Wayne Gretzky. That's a huge list, and I didn't want to belabor it, but I left like a dozen or more Hall of Famers I didn't even mention. and it's Upper Deck like literally threw the kitchen sink at this. I was trying to think like, well, gosh, they usually hold back a little bit. They went with these are big game, and again, a lot of these cards are at 50, so you have to come up with 50 game use patches for a lot of these Hall of Famers. That's a lot of inventory that you're burning through to make this set. We got to go back though to Gordie Howe for a minute. I think this was before your time, Louis and Phil. Do you guys remember when we had Wes Edwards on the show? He goes by Leslie Snipes 187.
Yes, sir.
On Instagram.
Oh, I didn't know you had him on the show. I love his Instagram account's amazing.
It is. And I pulled this picture from it. He has 7 of the 10 Gordie Howe limited logos from this set. Look at those game used
That's awesome.
Gordie Howe patches.
Yep.
That is the craziest thing I've ever seen. That is absolutely insane.
He's kind of like you hoard like Brady Tkachuk acetates. And,
yeah, you like a card, Go Leslie Snipes. That's amazing. Guy's been around forever too, man.
Oh, but wait.
There's more?
Oh, yeah. We'll get to that. But I was thinking really quickly, though, maybe other than like a PSA 8 or 9 or I don't know what grade it would be of his rookie, I don't know if there could be a better Gordie Howe card than this.
Yeah, that's amazing. That what's your favorite one? I like the ones that kind of look like serrated edges. I don't. You know what? I'm going to take this opportunity to say something that I'm going to be honest. I'm tired of pretending. I'm tired of pretending that Chicago Blackhawk patches are nice. They don't look nice. The green doesn't match the red. No, I don't like them. I'm tired of pretending. Oh man, that's good. No, a St. Louis Blues patch with the yellow and the blue and the white looks 10 million times better than any freaking Blackhawks patch. Blackhawks patches drive me crazy. Oh, it's got 9 breaks and 17 colors. Get out of here. This is 10 times better than any Blackhawks patch ever. Sorry, that's what just made me think about it. I would take any one of these cards over any 18 color Blackhawks patch. Drives me crazy.
Just on the patch, I think I like the top one. It's tough though. They're all ridiculous.
Yeah.
What about you, Louis? Which one do you like?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah.
Bottom right.
You're both so right. Yeah, it's amazing.
All right.
No sticker auto, hard autos. No.
Oh yeah.
No kind of like old man shakes. Love you, Gordy, but I mean it's gonna happen to me too. And so cleaner autos, great black and white. Look at him. Look him on the side of the left of the card. He's like, come on, I'm the best. What are you gonna do?
Well, and Wes has some other limited logos from the set too. Here's a couple of Gretzky's that he has. Those aren't bad.
Top one all the way. See, you know what? I don't like the bottom patch so much. Even if the guy, so what's that card? 50 grand, let's say. Even if someone's like, Phil, 10 grand, you can buy that card. The only reason I would buy that card is because it'd be a bad business move not to. I find when I don't like a patch of a card, I really don't like it. I cannot stand that patch on that card. I would never. Snob. Yeah, I'm a patch snob. Yeah, I'm a card snob. Complete, and you should be too, good listener. All of us should be. One sec, Louis. I'm on a rant here. So, but the top card, I would pay the 50K if I had it.
Yeah. All right.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
This would give me a complex if I had these cards.
You would further your complex.
No, it would give me one.
Okay.
Oh, because
they're in the slabs differently.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even notice.
It would drive me crazy.
Well, yeah, you'd have it reholder, but I'd be afraid to have him. Maybe you'd have to hire Phil's.
Yeah. No, I'll crack. Guys, hire the professional. Phil's crack slabbing service.
Sorry, that's the way I roll. Look, I looked on here.
Yep.
Everyone was spot on, and then I saw this, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, the Gordie Howe picture is very cerebral. This is very broken amusement park.
No,
and then just 2 more from Wes's collection. Speaking of like insane patches, though, he has 2 Ovechkins, or 2. I don't know. You might have more. Look at that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, it might be fake though, Josh?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Why? Why are these ones not fake, but the ones I don't think are fake are fake? It's one of those things. It's because it's me, right? It's one of those things.
Yeah, it's because it's you.
No, it's more because it's you.
Yeah. Stop. All right. So now we always end this segment with the top 5 public sales to kind of give an idea of like how much of these go for. And we're going to do that. But I have to like couch this in the most massive way ever, that Of
Angry
course, when
people.
you do public sales, underlying is that we don't know what private sales go for.
Right.
I don't think a lot of these change hands public. These are such big cards that like none of the acquisitions that West did to get those Gordie Howes are public sales, and so I think that the public sales are dramatically probably undervaluing what some of these cards go for. That's just my
These cards have,
caveat.
you know how we always say every card's for sale? Every card has a price. I firmly believe that. Even every one of my hockey cards has a price. If you can change my son's future,
Yeah.
every card is for sale. I'm not ridiculous that way. So these, we all know prices where people had to give the cards not for sale prices, and we never know those. I have about, you can count on both hands how many cards I've paid. I will, there's only a few people on this planet I'll tell what I paid. Like, yeah, I'm not embarrassed, but I guess I'm embarrassed by it. You know, that it means so much to me, but I don't it's private and I don't have buyer's remorse. And I absolutely respect other buyers that pay stupid money for weird things they like as well. So, yeah, couch that quickly, Josh, because your people are going to get upset at these numbers you're going to give.
Yeah, they're just underreported. Okay, so let's go. The number 5 sale, public is a Nicholas Lidstrom with an amazing winged wheel patch. What a great patch. Sold for $945 US in March 2022. Would you be a buyer of that for $1,000 US?
Yes, in a heartbeat.
Now, a Sidney Crosby raw sold for $2,377 via eBay in December 2021. Unfortunately, it's a disappearing photo, so I found another very close representation. This is another out of 50 Crosby. It's the gold cheddar in its place. Pretty much the same thing, right?
It's chowder. It's chowder.
No. Very, very similar. So I think that'll do. At number 3, we had an Anze Kopitar with a filthy patch.
Oh,
look at this.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it. Different uni.
Because it doesn't match the uni, right?
Yeah, can't do it. I can't do it. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, they should have picked a different photo for that.
That is the thing. Well, I'm making a video. About
we don't have time for a photo conversation.
Okay. Yeah, no. I'm good.
Pick that scab. Not
yeah.
All right, but I think the patch is ridiculous though. This sold for $2,550 US last month in December via eBay. Then a Wayne Gretzky PSA Authentic Auto 10 sold for $11,133 via Golden in September of 2023.
It's in the holder the wrong way.
Yeah, I would take that out so fast. Yeah. Beautiful card.
Backwards.
Oh, I would be terrified if you doing that.
Backwards.
And then the highest public sales in Ovechkin PSA 7 sold for $12,988 in October. Look at that. That's the best patch.
Yeah.
In October 2023. So again, I think the Gordie Howes, I don't know if they're worth 20, 40, 50,000, but yeah, who knows? So now you guys were poo-pooey when we started this. Has this changed your minds at all?
No,
Phil, you always like to say.
Whoa, you started, you guys. I was not poo-pooey about this one at all.
You're creating division.
It was this dude here.
What?
That one. This is poo-pooer.
That dude?
Right up there. Yes.
I'll take the poo-poo. I don't care. Put it all over. Go ahead.
I was thanking these guys for giving me a couple more percentages over Fanimations.
Fanimations are awesome. They're fantastic, especially the first year. It's great of hockey.
How many times in the last 5 minutes have you thought about that Brodeur sign for $230?
A lot, because I actually went on and looked though. That's about the going rate, brother.
Well, you got to snap one of those up, dude. I mean, this is a card.
I can get one $135 for a napkin white patch. $219, $267, $250, $233. Yeah, dude. I'm on it. Somebody hit me up.
All right. Well, there's a Hobby Deep Dive 2006. The Cup limited logos. Pretty awesome set. We'll be back again with another deep dive soon. All right, we're going to move on to a new segment on today's show. I haven't done a new segment in a while, so excited about that. It's called Burning Hobby Questions. Basically, where anyone can, in a discussion type way, can throw out a hobby-related question they've been thinking about. Maybe it's stuck in your craw, so we can talk it out, potentially solve major hobby dilemmas, or, I don't know, might even make them worse, right, Phil? You never know. to help us
We'll scratch that itch.
We'll
Mhm.
scratch that itch. To help us tackle the biggest questions and problems of the hobby, we had to find a smart person, smarter than us, and good looking too. So me, just kidding. We have our good friend Jeremy Lee has agreed to come on and help us with our first burning question segment. Of course, he's the host of Sports Cards Live. He can be found, Saturday nights. Must watch
SEO.
TV on YouTube. We're always there. And by the way, Phil, these are the type of burning questions that you don't take medicine for.
Yeah.
Wanted
Okay.
to save yourself some embarrassment.
Finish the
There.
bottle. Just because it's not burning doesn't mean you don't need to finish your medicine.
Okay. Thank you for oversharing. Hi, Jeremy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Good.
All right. Let's get on to burning question number 1. Been thinking about this a lot. If there is a tariff war between the USA and Canada, what do we think happens to the hockey hobby?
This is a hard question, man. This is your first question?
Man, these are burning questions.
I'm not worldly enough to know. I don't know. Jeremy, can you go first?
What?
Listen, I mean, the tariff is, Trump putting tariffs on Canadian goods entering the States. So the hobby, Hockey Cards Gongshow, Hockey Cards Wise, like the thing is that so many hockey cards are produced in the States or wherever Upper Deck has them made. They ship them into Canada where they are then sold to people who then maybe ship them back into the States or, carry them into the States to go to card shows. So I don't know if he's putting tariffs on everything coming into the States from internationally or from Canada, or if because these are goods made in the US. So I wouldn't expect there to be a tariff on American goods re-entering the US. And I don't know. So there's that. And then as far as like shipping cards back and forth amongst collectors from buying online, I just don't know how that all is going to fall out.
We might have to do an underground railroad for hockey cards.
Right?
I'll
Well, I
be a
think
general. I'll lead the charge.
Oh God. Well, and then I think you have to add in there the potential of a retaliatory tariff too, right? So I think that's like where, like, I know Trudeau has been on TV saying that, listen, they're not gonna, take this line down. We're gonna $150 billion worth of goods, and if that was included in that, it might be interesting, there, right? 25% increase.
Would it be classified as lumber if they're not printed? Maybe we could outsource the raw materials. Like there's a loophole in there somewhere. Come on.
Yeah,
Paper-ish.
I can see the retaliatory tariffs being things like, produce and energy, oil, gas, hockey cards, like I see it being something that he's going to be really top of mind for.
Right.
So, right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you might.
Comes down to
That'd probably bum Canadians out to have to pay a tariff on their.
Is it
on their
Jeremy?
cards.
Jeremy, you're in Calgary and I'm in Ottawa. Is it a hot button out there? Like it's one of the hottest button topics here in Ottawa. So I've never listened to the radio less. I'm not too chatty at the gym as much about this stuff, because it makes a lot of not tough people feel really super tough. They're like, we're gonna show him. I'm like, okay, well, sounds good. Let's kick the giant.
It's not only a hobby burning question; it's a whole societal burning question right now, right? And I think that was really good news when we woke up yesterday that they were that Trump was postponing, delaying it 30 days, and that should give Canada some time to beef up the border and the fentanyl issue and all that. I think that's really what's at the heart of it. So I don't know. I've always just kind of lived my life where, whatever the landscape of the world is, I'm going to adapt to it. And that's all we can do, right? We're not politicians here, so we'll just have to see what happens.
Don't jump to something bad's going to go on. I mean, it was threatened, but I don't know what the two talked about, but it's been put off for a month. Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen after that? But I guess getting on to the question, if there was, what could happen to the hobby? I think one of the probably worst things that could be is like supply chain disruptions. It could probably create shortages for things if certain supplies are only made here or in Canada. Harder for hobbyists to get one or the other. You might have to search for different domestic alternatives, and get
Well,
what you can only get in your country.
the biggest issue, I think, guys, and I already noticed one hobby company is shutting their doors for now, and that's the company that makes, I think they're called like Superior Fit or something like that, sleeves.
Yeah.
So think about Ultra Pro and BCW and all these supply companies where all their plastics coming from China. So never mind the Canada-US tariff war.
Mm-hmm.
He's put these sanctions on Chinese items now as well. So anything manufactured in China, even if it's coming through Canada, can't enter the States or maybe without a tariff. So that's going to cause issues more so like your supply chain, Louis. I think you're on it there.
The part that bums me out about this, and this is not a political comment, it's purely through the lens of a hockey card collector. We just got through the Canada Post thing.
Right.
And then now it's this. It's like, and it's just a great reminder of how the external factors can affect the hobby that have nothing to do with the hobby itself, right? It's just the stuff that goes on in the world. And we've had two big ones this is going back to what was almost like Black Friday weekend end of November, when the Canada Post thing happened. And just finally getting to like where packages are being delivered. And now it's this. It's like, yeah, I don't know if it would be like a blanket sort of, I think the biggest potential impact would be is that if Canada imposed some sort of like blanket retaliatory tariff on any product coming from the US, then, that would probably put a big squeeze on Canadian card shops. And if your $500 box is now, or $400 box is now $500 because of a tariff, that would suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not much you can do.
No.
Okay, we'll move on to question number 2. What's one change or innovation that you guys think would instantly make the hockey hobby bigger or better?
I got a good one.
Okay.
So it's not very unique, and I didn't think of it. I'm sure we all think of it, and another company is doing it. But to directly answer this question, something that dramatically makes our hockey hobby bigger and or better, I think it would do both. And it is to correlate the game used patches to specific evenings and dates and times. I think that would absolutely transform the hobby, and it would get more people involved. And when a civilian's like, what? You're like, when I'm reading the back of a card to like a big hockey buddy of mine, we all have a connection to a certain night or series or jersey our grandfather gave us or something. And if we start building that culture and thread it into our hobby, think where we could be in 30, 40 years. I went with my dad to this game and I have this card. Like, come on, the possibilities are endless. And I feel like that should be a major priority of card companies. That's my big take.
Here's mine. Because I've been thinking a lot the last few days about this question. And I was trying to think, what's the number one constraint on the hockey hobby that if this was solved, it would instantly make it bigger? And you guys tell me if you agree with me or disagree with me. I think if there was fast and economical shipping between the US and Canada, that it's a game changer overnight.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, good.
I was gonna say, and it's not it is a change. I don't know if it's a change in the hobby, but back to Trump for a moment. If Canada were to become the 51st state, I think that would make the hockey hobby a lot better, because all of a sudden it's not, we're not a foreign country. It's so not saying I want that or don't want it. I'm just saying that might be something. I really liked Phil's idea too. The caveat to Phil's idea in my mind is that it would have to not drive up costs, and I think it would. So while it's a great innovation that would instantly make it better, as long as it did not cause Upper Deck to have to increase the cost of products.
And it would probably, because you'd have to create a few new positions. I would love a job like that as a fixer, a liaison between the NHLPA, the NHL, and Upper Deck, but you work for Upper Deck and you're there on that night and your name gets synonymous with this type of thing. Just like the Stanley Cup guy. It's always the same guy. Well, I guess I don't know his name, so they're not doing a good job of that.
Okay.
But it's always the same
Yeah,
dude.
So they're gonna have to pay for your salary then, Phil.
Yeah,
and that's
I'm
only
cheap.
that's all gonna yeah, that's gonna get passed on to the consumer one way or another. But yeah, I do love that idea. I think Josh's comment is bang on too. I don't have an original idea right now to answer this question other than what's already been said.
How
No,
about
you said the Trumpy thing, the orange man bad.
Somewhat original.
how about on the back of a company's logo or embedded in the logo or on the back of the card somewhere, a QR code that I don't care if it's on all the cards or a numbered card or what have you, figure out a way to do it, but something you could scan, with your phone, and it might get you something. An auto jersey from said guy on the card, or a stick, or tickets, or something like that.
Remember the taco fractors from Tops where people got Taco Bell for
Taco Bell?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they've done that. That's happened before, right?
Oh,
Back
it
in
has?
the
Okay.
1920s and 30s, you could send things in and get, I know it's not a QR code, but there were ways to get premiums back in the day. And that ties in, Louis, to what we've been hearing over the past few years about like NFTs attached to cards and the utility that could be, redeemed or awarded or received by whoever has it. Like, which brings me to the thought of like, title. Cards get stolen, cards go missing, whether it's by someone in a redemption department or somebody at a postal office, but something that could identify cards that are stolen right away, and such that they're useless to the person who stole them, which then makes me think about the whole fake patch situation or altered patch or swapped patches. And, I still can't believe that, talking hockey, that Upper Deck hasn't figured out how to stop fake patches. And I still think that an archive, an image archive is really the best way to do it. So you can just go see if the card you have is real. I think that would make the hockey hobby bigger and better. And they're the only company that isn't under the Fanatics umbrella, or the only license. So of the major sports. So maybe they're the ones that could do it. But I've been hounding them to do this for 15 years, and we're still where we were.
And I don't think
Phil, didn't you come up with the idea of like the stolen money paint bomb thing, where if you slice open the card, a little paint splatter comes out and it's all done?
You compromise the patch, you get a poop bomb in your face. Exactly. Yeah.
Or use like Gorilla Glue or Super Glue on the patch, so that literally if you try to remove the patch, it rips the back of the card off.
Yeah.
Right? There's no, I think getting those working. I just want to expand a little bit too on like the postage thing. Why I think it's such a big issue is it's $17 for me to send a card first class with tracking to Canada. Number one, it takes forever, and there's a mistrust. And I've really not so much on the American, but I've sensed a lot on the Canadian side. I think that's like why PSA is opening the service up in Canada, is that a lot of Canadians just don't trust that their package is going to get there, or be safe. Or Phil has a bunch of cards in ComC, and it's $600 to ship it to his house. I mean, something insane.
$580. Yeah, or
like
$9 to Louis. $9.
And again, it's when you think about like, I don't want to like, I respect Canada's sovereignty. I really do. And you don't have to be our 51st state, but maybe we should combine post offices. Would that work?
Well,
because
Josh,
it costs me, it's 75% less for me to ship a card to Hawaii than to Winnipeg. And Hawaii's halfway around the world for me, and Winnipeg is like 4 hours north.
So I do have to say this. I got to stick up for something here. When this all started within the last 10 years, even a little sooner, 7, 8, the global shipping program is an absolute nightmare. When that first came, I can have a card delivered to Ottawa from, I don't know, like Arizona. It can stop and go on an airplane and get resorted 3 to 8 times. That doesn't happen in Canada. Like, what are you guys doing down there? You know what that is? That's bureaucracy. That's 8 managers for 3 employees. So I think it's not a, like, it's crazy. The money machine, you know, not to get political again, but I think that's a big thing that's upsetting a lot of not hard workers, is there's a purge going on where that's, if you're not efficient or even remotely efficient, you're getting axed, right? And I, whether that's good or bad, I don't know. I'm not talking about that, but I personally like that. I like efficient things. I don't need a hockey cart to stop 6 times from Arizona. That's your $75, 75% difference. When you ship a car, Josh, it's probably going from Minnesota to Hawaii. So I'm paying for all those stops. I'm paying for the efficiency program. It's ridiculous. It's that Pitney Bowes. It's bureaucracy, man. That's what it is.
I'm not just talking eBay though. I'm talking if I go to my post office and I ship a card to Georgia, it costs me $4. If I ship it to Winnipeg, it costs me 17.
Well, that's, I think it's all a way above our pay grade, and I think it does get political at a certain level, right? That you get up to,
and then that does. I mean, you know, there's no doubt that less cards are exchanged between the U.S. and Canada, and probably has stunted the growth of the hobby in the U.S. since so many great cards are in Canada too. Okay, we'll go on to reading question number 3. Phil, this is one you added, so I'll let you tee it up.
Oh, you want me to read it? Oh, it's long. Okay. And I didn't think Jeremy was going to be on the show. Total coincidence, but I'm really happy he is. Okay, here we go. Okay, hold on. Okay. Grading cards today is inherently subjective from companies like PSA, SGC, and Beckett. Tag grading claims to offer an objective and computer-based approach. If human-graded cards were analyzed by a true objective grading system, how often do you think the grades would match? Would this reveal inconsistencies in human grading, or does subjectivity have a necessary place in the process? Discuss.
Humans are inconsistent.
I like Skynet.
Of course.
Go Skynet.
So like, what's the goal that you would have here? Oh, go ahead, Jeremy.
Well, I was going to say the second sentence of the first paragraph says tag grading claims to offer that. I mean, it's a claim, but it's also true. It's objective and computer based. So it's not just, I mean, the word claim sort of undermines that it actually is objective.
Well, I added in my question. I added it in there. I was just trying to be fair to all parties involved and show no favoritism.
Yeah, and just with someone with some extra insight into tag, I can just tell you that it's not just a claim; it's the actual fact. But then if I read the question, if human graded cards were analyzed by a true objective grading system, well, I don't know. That doesn't seem to make sense to me, because like Louis just said, humans, well, I guess you can be objective, but that doesn't mean you're going to be consistent. And so I don't, and even you can even be objective one day to the next and still be inconsistent in yourself. The same grader can be inconsistent, even if they're being objective, because objective.
Well, they're supposed to be objective, but they're not, because they're humans. That's
right.
Yeah, let me forget my smarty pants trying way of asking a simple question. Will the grades cross over well? Do we think like that's basically
like what were you saying? Like what percentage of PSA 10s would be a tag?
Yeah, sure. I just want to get the objective subjective grading. I tried to be witty with my question. I don't want it broken down in a grammar. That wasn't the point of it. The point is I believe tag grading is the future and that type of technology. Do you think the PSA, the CGCs, the SGC grades will transfer over properly and consistently? That's
no. Improperly and inconsistently, because
I agree.
They themselves are improper and inconsistent. And so I don't think so. The biggest problem I have with human grading is that, people will pay so much money for a PSA 10, but how many PSA 10s used to be 9s? And if you knew that your 10 was a 9, would you still want to pay that money? And the answer is, well, so many people in the hobby do want to pay that money, because all they care about is the 10 on the holder. They don't even care if the card inside the holder is worthy of a 10. So until collectors, investors, hobbyists really care about the cards they're buying, some do, of course, but the fact that, the inconsistency of human grading hasn't hampered the business that the PSAs of the world get, tells us that hobbyists are they're really more about the money than the cards in a lot of ways. They want their cards to be worth something, and if it's not in a PSA 10, they don't feel it's worth something. And even if that PSA 10 used to be a PSA 9 or even a PSA 8 back in under a different grader's opinion on a different day who was trying to be objective, nonetheless. The whole grading thing it's really a human grading. It's an opinion at a time on a card by a specific employee of the grading company. That's all it is. And all four of us on this screen are probably better graders, believe it or not, than many people at the grading company.
I always say that. I trust my friend's opinion on a card 10 times more. And that's not a knock on grading companies. That's just the way I view it. I'm not going to pay someone extra money to tell me, when I'm confident in my card looking grading ability and what I like, that my card is in a scale of 1 to 10 on their opinion of their company that they're representing. That's it. That's all. There's no.
And I mean, I got tons of human graded cards in my collection, and I love them. I do. But I'll tell you what, like, I don't love the ones where I don't agree with the grade, whether it's overgraded or undergraded. If it's overgraded, well, that might be good for me because I can go put it out into the market and someone's going to overpay for it because all they care about is the grade on the slab. Yep. So that's good. But at the same time, I have this weird feeling in my stomach if I'm going to sell one of those cards. And if it's undergraded, well, I love that. I love undergraded cards because they're cheaper. They're just cheaper because people generally don't buy the card, they buy the grade. So that's
the reason
I have a perspective on this, Phil. Maybe that I think is really important that we forget too often, because if you think of like the four of us, we're probably in the top 1% of people that are of hockey card collectors in our engagement, like the level of interest and how much time we spend in the hobby. The lion's share of collectors are casual. And we've talked a lot about over the years on the show about the steep learning curve that exists to get into collecting. I think the primary role that any grading company, no matter if you're TAG or PSA or SGC or Beckett or whatever, that they fill is that it eliminates variables for people that have a naivete, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just haven't learned, don't know, don't have the experience, so that when you're going to buy a card, that number one, that this is the card, like it gives you the name of the card, it authenticates it as the Metal Universe, like Lethal Weapon superpowers, a good one. Right? Most people can never tell the difference between the base and the superpower, especially on a computer screen, right? So, okay, I see it in a slab. This is the superpower parallel, and then it gives you an idea of the condition of the card, right? Because when you guys talked about, well, objective versus subjective, sure, I mean, I think that's an intention, but what a human being can't do is remove bias. Right. I might be biased for there's certain things, and I don't love bubbles and autos, or I don't love a soft corner. So I'm going to penalize a card more harshly than another grader would. There's no way for a human being to remove bias from the equation. It's something that's built into us. And so while you may not benefit from having those variables reduced, a new collector where there's a million things coming at them and they know they like Wayne Gretzky and they want a couple of nice cards, I think that does any graded copy provides, eliminates a lot of those variables and provides peace of mind.
Yes, but will that grade transfer over when objective? That's the reason of my question was, I know a guy's been buying up PSA 9s at the Ottawa Card Show, and he's kind of a new player, and I never really met him before. Twice now I've met him. He doesn't know much about hockey, but he's buying PSA 9s, he's becoming quite the expert himself, and he's turning them over to PSA 10s. He's making a killing. I wanted him to come on Friday nights with Phil. He said, no, not yet. Maybe later. Yeah, he's got a great eye. He found a little niche. I don't know what to say. So that, I'm going to start talking to him about tag more. I'm bringing him. Jeremy, I got that Golden Treasures Brady Tkachuk from you in the tag 10. It's one of my favorite cards of all time. Because he's never seen a tag slab. I can't find one at the Ottawa Card Show. Not one. And so I'm going to bring it and show them what objective grading is. And I'm going to, just open the conversation.
But he can't make money. Well, maybe he can make money on that if he can buy if he can try to buy tag slabs cheaper, pay the PSA freight and get them graded over there. But
yeah, he's got a system.
I think the answer of your question is simply no. And that's because PSA, just to use them as the behemoth, I think that, according to like a study that I'm aware of and things like that, I think that you can send that just under 50%, like say 48% of the time, you can send in a slab and get a different grade.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
They are that wildly inconsistent, but they're still close. They're within one, it's a human opinion. So I guess that's good enough, right? But if you were to send in 1,000 PSA 9 slabs to any objective computer-based non-human grading system, that those 1,000 PSA 9s would come back with 8s, 9s, and 10s. It'd be like a bell curve. Most of them are gonna, like half of them are gonna come back as 9s, and then you're gonna have 25% of each that are gonna come on either side of that 9. Some 9.5s, some 10s, some 8.5s, some 8s, and maybe a couple stragglers that are coming in even lower than one full grade point away, because those 1,000 PSA 9s were graded at different times by different people with different biases in their head at the time, different moods. So the answer to your question is simply no. They will not match. They will match. I will say they would match 50 to 55% of the time.
And that's the discussion I wanted. I want to get thinking. Even people are like, oh, I never really thought about that. The way you broke it down, Jeremy, how the bell curve was very well said. The drop off on both sides is heavy, but you'll get about half the same. But
right.
that's crazy. 50%. Let's keep it simple. That's mind blowing. So I can't wait for companies like Tag, but I also believe in competition. Free enterprise is important. I hope there's multiple companies and we can choose what we like, but the objectivity of it is so paramount. I just hope it happens.
Josh made a great distinction there. When Josh broke out bias from objective subjective, that's a key distinction. And yeah, you strip out the subjectiveness, you strip out the bias. I think the hobby's in a great place.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. And that's what was this question is. I want people to realize we all would benefit from that. It would take this ugly, dark thing out of our hobby of, that's how I see it anyways.
Think about this though, Phil, for a second. All respect to Tag. There's no way PSA doesn't have the money to come up with a system. It may be different. Tag didn't invent, something crazy here. It's that they invested a lot of money. They put a lot of hard work. They developed a good system. But the amount of money PSA has would be, it's hardest to do something the first time. It's much easier, much cheaper to do it the second. Right.
Keep in mind though, Josh, it took 10 years to build the Tag system. It just didn't come out of nowhere. So PSA would need not just the money, but the time as well.
Yeah, but I understand it, and that's a good point. But if it took them 10 years, it would take PSA too, because number one, technology always advances, and money can solve that. But my point is, if PSA really wanted to, or felt that the market wanted this, they would do it. They're not dumb. They make, and they're growing. So everything you're saying is true about, subjective versus objective. But at the same point,
that makes me think the hobby's has more flippers in it then, which is fine. I mean, then that makes me think the majority of our hobby is about profit, because that's what PSA is. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to pick on them. They're 10 times everybody else. That's what any grading company is profiting from other people profiting.
So flippers, like you said, and then it's the other group of people like Josh was saying that are just casual collectors that aren't immersed in hobby content and all these opinions of all of us talking heads out there.
Yeah.
It's they don't know how bad, or not bad, but they don't know how inconsistent human grading is. They just think a 9's a 9. It's good enough for me. It's a 9, So
and it should be there. I don't want to complain in some casual's ear that a 9 isn't good enough. He goes to bed every night loving his whatever Tim Stutzel Young Gun 9, whereas I would be like, well, okay. So
take
I
it
don't want to
from
be a
this
jerk either. right?
Well, here's one thing I wouldn't want over my head if I was PSA or anybody else, except for Peg, probably in this scenario. How do you feel when somebody, or not even somebody, everybody, MacKay, 99%, I can't say everybody. Well, if you just get an 8 or a 9, just crack it and send it back. You might get a 10.
Yeah, that's the culture, though. Everybody
That's-
knows that now.
Oh, I know, but that's so bad.
Well,
Yeah,
that's why I
it's
was saying,
not
like,
good.
you can go spend PSA 10 money on a PSA 10 card, but that exact same card,
Might have been a 9.
30% of the time, or whatever that number is, because of resubs and going and getting bumps and all this, used to be a 9. That card used to be in a 9. Now it's in a 10. That means it could go back to a 9 one day. So your card isn't a 10. Your card is not a gem mint card. It's it's a mint one day. It's a mint plus if you're lucky. Like
Sylvain got a Brady Kachuk. Sorry, man, I'm gonna say it. Sylvain got a Brady Kachuk, BVG, not BVG, BGS 9, not a 9.5, a 9 with an 8.5 subgrade, I believe, on one of them, and he got a PSA 10 and sold it to me for like, he could have sold it for 5x.
Oh, it
but
could have been
probably got-
undergraded by BGS. It could have been, you don't
No,
know.
I'm just, I'm not. Am I saying it negative? I'm not trying to be negative. It's
No.
just look at the market and what's Sylvain's business. He makes money in cards. He did me a deal. I paid 4x, right? He could have gotten 6x, but that's the norm.
You take all this inconsistent grading and subjective and human grading out, and all these arbitrage opportunities dissipate.
Yeah.
And the hobby probably shrinks, to be honest, at first, and then grows based on the strength of it and the just the validity of the grades moving forward.
That's a good point. Jeremy just made a really good point. The hobby probably would shrink, right? Like if the big reckoning, or I don't know, maybe it's a bad word.
Well, the resub game goes away.
Yeah.
So all this, your new guy buying 9s to go get 10s, he's out of the game.
He's out. Yeah, he'll find something else, right?
You're not going to buy a 9 to get a 9 or a 10 to get a 10.
Arbitrage opportunities. That's what's going on. It's arbitrage.
And Phil, I'm not saying I disagree with you when I say this, but the hobby doesn't want what you're talking about.
I know. I'm not disagreeing with you either. It's fascinating. I'm not saying it to be on a soapbox in a virtue. I can't stand people like that. I hope I'm not coming across like that.
Many do want it, though. Like a lot of the more veteran, seasoned collectors do want it.
I understand that. I understand that, Jeremy. I'm not like I am not. I'm probably inching towards the veteran kind of side, right? And I it is important to me, but I now judge the card more than the grade when of any holder in of itself. But my comment is based on they're grading 1.5 million cards a month.
Yeah, it's crazy. People
right?
are betting with their
voting. Nobody's forced
to. And what percentage of those are like just ultra modern, and then what percentage of ultra modern hobbyists are younger, newer, and really the Zion case guys. So nothing against them. It's part of the hobby and the landscape, and I like it all. Even if it works in the veteran collector's favor, because you let all the uninitiated go spend their hard-earned money on PSA 10 simply because it's a PSA 10, when you can get a PSA 9 that's in many cases really a 10, and over a 10 that's really a 9. Like if you just use your own eyes and assess the grade that the grading company gave before you decide to buy the card, you are maturing as a collector, you're evolving, and you're going to be ahead. And there are more and more people. There is a movement towards that right now. I'm seeing it, at least on wherever I'm within my perception and perspectives. And so I think it is. But yeah, 1.3 million cards a month being graded there. Maybe Jemray can break it down, but I do think it's heavily ultra modern. I mean, Connor Bedard Young Guns and
sure,
everybody else.
If your intention is to move, it's obvious the way to go. And where I get a little confused on this, and again, it's just my perspective, is the angst in it, right? It's like lucky for you, like Phil, there is a solutions like Tag, which fit the needs of that's what you want out of grading. It doesn't, if people like PSA, why do we care?
I don't care. I made the question.
Yeah.
I made the question. That's I'm because
I'm
I
just saying
can't
it's like
wait. There's
okay.
going to be a big day in our hobby. Just to go back to the question, the 1.3 million cards in 1 month. You think when objective grading starts coming up and equaling in the mainstream, this is going to be the question, the thing we're doing, the thing that's all around us is the great crossover. I think it's,
Yeah.
I love talking about it. I love it. And I'm
I
not
know
throwing shade on it. I'm just, it's going to be
part
fascinating.
of me wonders, and I have no inside information. I wonder what, part of me thinks, well, if PSA really thought this was important, maybe they are working on it now. Maybe they literally don't. Maybe they think that it's only, us like diehard hardcore collectors. We're our own little niche group, and that most of the hobby is happy with status quo. And this is the right move as a business. I have no idea.
Then it'll get
right?
regulated much quicker. Something big will happen. Someone's going to get ripped off. Look at the Pokemon thing. Millions of dollars. CGC just authenticated, to back your statement up from earlier, authenticated 1,500 fake cards. How'd that go for them? Hey, not pretty good. And they're doing the right thing. They're going to fix it. I'm picking on them because it's the most recent thing. But would that happen on an objective grading system? Unless someone got into the code or something, right? So it is fascinating that the hobby wants this and they're paying with their wallets right now for this objectiveness. I find that incredibly interesting.
But just to be clear, that's two different things there, Phil. One is subjective versus objective grading. The other is authentication. And now what is but you're still kind of, talking about what's relevant, because the hobby expects grading companies to authenticate and then grade. Don't grade
they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand in my. I'm not trying to think of the payment service. I'm just thinking of the feeling.
They do go hand. I agree that they definitely do go hand in hand.
All right.
Ooh, I'm
solving
burning.
problems. I'm exhausted.
Solving world hunger. We're on the Gong Show.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Jeremy Lee. You're a little bit of an e-boo. It is an emergency backup host, but that's why you're a good buddy. Love you lots. You're a beauty. And when can people? Well, this will be on Thursday. So when can people check out? Do you want to maybe pump up and promo a little bit of Sports Cards Live this coming weekend?
Another episode of Sports Cards Live coming at you this Saturday, starting at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific. It'll go for about 3 hours. I've got about six guests lined up to come through. And the big topic I'm looking forward to talking about with all of my guests on Saturday is, and it does tie into our just most recent discussion, is that PSA has changed the grading standards. They have changed the standards on their website for what constitutes a PSA 10 for centering. And I read a statement which says that, well, they didn't really change it, but they changed the numbers on the website. So they changed them. They can say everything they want about how they didn't change them. They changed them. And I don't know what that means for cards graded before today, but for the 1.3 million cards a month times 12 is about 15 million cards graded last year. So about 60 million cards that have been graded recently. However many of those that are 10s, many of them are no longer 10s. And I think
they're grandfathered in.
Well, they are, because they're in the slabs. That's why they're grandfathered in. They're in the slabs. Grandfathering in a grade, but if I were to send them back now and say, hey, I just want to get the newest version of your slab, and they're going to grandfather those in, I mean, you're running a competing product. It's really a strange situation, and it's one that we're going to talk about on Sports Cards Live on Saturday night. We're going to get a bunch of opinions on it, and if anyone from PSA is listening to this, you're welcome to come on the show and explain this to all of us on Saturday night on Sports Cards Live. Would love to have you. Just reach out to me. I'm sure you know how to get a hold of me.
We know a pretty big deal. We know Brad from PSA, great friend of the show. So see what we can do.
Friend of Jeremy's, Brad.
I know. I'm just like, I love Brad. He's awesome.
I love Brad. Big fan of Brad. I sent him a message the other day saying, "You're the best." And he writes back, he goes, "I don't know if this was intended for me, but thank you." And well, no, it was intended to me. Me and Josh were talking about, you're the best. But I don't know that he's the one to do it. I think it would have to be someone from,
He's too nice. He's too
or
happy.
the
Yeah,
grading
yeah.
department, but maybe he is. What do I know if he was involved in those decisions? But I think it's a huge move by them, and it's not being talked about yet, but I think it will be over the next few days. And I
Nice.
have big concerns about what it does for all the existing PSA 10s and 9s, because they changed the grading or the centering standards for a PSA 9 as well. So that's a
Wow.
major thing that they could have just devalued everybody's cards.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it should be a robust conversation. I will definitely be tuned in, and everyone else should be too, at 9 p.m. Central. Is that Sports Cards Live? On Saturday?
9 p.m.
9
Central is when it starts. Yes, sir.
On Sports Cards Live YouTube. Again, Jeremy, thank you so much. Really appreciate having you
Thanks,
on.
Jeremy.
Thanks,
See you,
guys.
Jeremy.
Great to see you, fellas. Have a great day. Enjoy the
Yeah.
rest of the show.
All right, boys, let's move on to new product releases, which is brought to you by friend and partner Mint Inc. They are the spot in Greater Toronto for all your hobby needs, whether it's new hobby boxes, retail, product singles, grading, consignment, breaks after dark, any memorabilia, trade nights, they do it all. Mint Inc. is a hobby vibe, as the kids call it, Phil. Hobby vibe. And they also will ship new hockey products anywhere in Canada, so you don't have to be in Toronto to get your hockey fix from Mint Inc. Just head to mintink.ca, order your boxes. So, Phil, I've heard that you've spent many summers in beautiful Kipisa, Canada, just across the waters from Greenland there, up in the Arctic Circle.
No, I've never been to the East Coast.
Oh, really?
Unless that
That's just
one
what I
time
heard.
I got abducted. I have a bit of a 5 days blank, but yeah, everything turned out okay.
Story for a different show.
You need to get out more.
Keep it. Well, don't worry, though. If you're up in Kipisa, along the postman comes, you can get your hobby boxes while you're there and basking in frigid temperatures, I'm assuming, if it's right by Greenland.
I
yeah,
sense your
Mint Inc.
mockery, sir. I'm ignoring it. I
I'm
sense
laying
it.
it on pretty thick, so I'm glad you
Yeah,
sense it.
I know. I'm ignoring you completely. I'm not feeding the chipmunk.
Okay, we're in a little bit of a new product release lull, let's call it. But really calm before the storm, because we're going to have a huge month of new products. So again, not going on today, but on our last show, we were looking at the upcoming calendar, and of course it's loaded. So here's a quick reminder. 2024-25 Allure comes out next week on February 12th. Then the week after that, we have O-Pee-Chee.
Yeah.
Both checklists on hockeychecklist.com, by the way.
Yeah, we
I
can
ain't
plug
saying,
now.
but
Yep.
I'm
Plug it.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going to be annoying about that for probably forever.
Forever.
Then a week after that, my life becomes complete with 2023-24 EX 2000 coming out on February 26th. And then March 5th, another week. So we have 4 solid weeks of pretty big releases. We have Series 2 that's coming out for 2024-25. So it got me thinking, which of course can be dangerous. I know I'm already peeing my pants over EX 2000, but what is everyone else thinking of this kind of monster slate of releases? What are people in the hobby land really excited about? So we did another Instagram poll. It was a twofer. 2 polls this week. We get our money for that poll. And basically asked, which of the upcoming these 4 releases are you guys most excited about? And we have the results to share, Louis. Let's see if you... Oh, wait, stop before you... forget.
Oh, they didn't see nothing. That was so fast.
Who do you
Did you
think?
see, Phil? What do you guess, Phil? Which one people most excited about? Allure, paper, O-Pee-Chee paper, EX
Okay, well,
2000,
I'll give you
Series 2?
I'll start bottom. So I think people are least excited for Star Rookies. Then I think they're least excited for SP. So SP NHL Retail bottom, then Star Rookies second bottom, then O-Pee-Chee, unfortunately, which I love and I'm so excited for because Glow-Pee-Chee's back. And so that, and then I think it will be Allure, then EX 2000, then Series 2. Yeah, flagship's always going to win, right? Especially with the big young guns. This one.
Let's see if you nailed it. I think you might have.
Yeah,
I think so.
What? There's missing 2 of them. Where's retail?
Oh, we don't put I mean, yeah. That's not the focus. The 4 big ones we put on.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Oh, that's a big delta with Series 2. Okay, I didn't think that big of a difference, but that's healthy.
Wow, I'm in the minority there.
You're most excited about Allure?
O-Pee-Chee.
Retail. SP.
O-Pee-Chee.
Oh,
Oh,
O-Pee-Chee.
yeah, 14%.
Yeah, we got a case. We're gonna open it on release day,
Yeah,
8 in the morning. 8. I wanted to do 5 a.m., but Josh is like, "Well, let's settle down here."
Yeah.
I go to bed a bit earlier than the big boy, eh?
So yeah, 24 Series 2 at 42% of the vote. Then next was EX2000, 27%, followed by 24 Allure, 17%, and then O-Pee-Chee Paper for 24, 14%. So
So you're
I think
telling
you're
me
right.
I got to take Wednesday the 19th off?
Yes, and because it's gonna be great. Take off work if you're listening. Take off work. You got the black lung.
I've got the black lung pop. All right. Well, like I
And,
said, I'll,
if you haven't heard, you'll be able to find all these wonderful new series checklists out on hockeychecklist.com as soon as
Really?
they're available. Yeah.
I've never been. What is hockeychecklist.com? I've never heard of that.
Oh, you got to go there and check it out. It's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Listen.
I bet you
Listen.
some really looking guys made it.
Oh, you bunch of nerds. I'm
Mhm.
actually getting really excited for EX2000. I'm with you, Josh. I'm slowly getting there. I think it's going to be really, really fun.
Can I share with you my tiny pet peeve about it?
Okay.
I haven't said this out loud. I
Stupid
wanted
name.
to only be positive, but there is something a little bit bugging me. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
I think I can't remember the exact configuration. It's 2 card packs.
Oh, that sucks, donkey. That's 2 card packs. Oh, back
Yes.
to the bottom of the list you go. What?
Does
it a
that
one
bother you
pack
too?
box? Oh man.
No, I think it's like 12 packs or 24 or something like that. But I don't know why you do 2 cards in a pack.
Ugh.
It just seems so unsatisfying when
Mhm.
unless there's like 1 hit, 1 base. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like 3. It's just
Maybe it'll
2.
be done maybe it'll be done well. Who knows?
Yeah. I'm listen. It's a very, very minor complaint. I'm very excited for this and cannot wait.
It's a medium to major for mine. I can't stand that stuff. But then I complain about flagship. I'm like, what are all these? And I like base cards. Ugh, what a card
Yeah.
snob we are.
You're a conundrum of conflictions, Phil. That's what you are.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our Fanatics Weekly Hockey Preview. Remember, Fanatics Collect is a sponsor of our show. We're very thankful for them to them for their support. Head to the Buy Now Marketplace for some really nice hockey cards. Get some good deals 24/7, 365 at fanaticscollect.com. Of course, be out on the lookout for the February premiere auction, which I think starts today. I think so. But we have a weekly auction to talk about. Another really strong one for Fanatics Collect. We won't be doing Jeremy Lee and I will not be doing a show this Sunday because I'm going to be watching the Super Bowl.
Oh.
Yeah,
Super Bowl
Sunday.
homeboy.
But in the meantime, though, 3 of us have 3 of us have each picked out a favorite vintage modern card to highlight, and we'll commence with our picks now. Okay, let's start on the vintage side. I picked a 1933 O-Pee-Chee Series A Eddie Shore rookie PSA 3. Here's another card from a Hall of Famer we've already covered in our Get to Know Your Hall of Famer series. Goes back to episode 250 on, I think, December 23rd. So if you want more detail about Eddie Shore, you could go back to that episode and learn more about him. Very briefly, though, he's one of the top pre-war hockey players. Won 4 Hart trophies as a defenseman, still the most in NHL history. Helped lead the Bruins to their first ever Stanley Cup. And even though his career began in 1924, this card's 9 years later, it's his rookie because it's the first time he appeared on a card. 1933 is also the first year for O-Pee-Chee. And remember, these cards came in 4 different background colors: green, orange, and blue. That's 3. Which one am I forgetting?
What'd you say?
What's
Red,
happening?
Blue, green, orange, or yellow?
Red. Yeah, red. Red was the other one. Sorry.
I was just gonna say them all. I don't remember. I wasn't listening.
Just name a random color.
And one color isn't worth more than another. They're all the same.
No,
print.
and one wasn't printed more. And actually, PSA doesn't even distinguish between, like on the population reports, they don't distinguish between the different background.
Oh, that's
colors.
good. That saves a headache. That's good that they do that. And there's a
In
boatload.
total,
Sorry to cut you off, but there's a boatload of 33 O-Pee-Chees on the Fanatics Collect auction. So if you're looking to finish the set in a slab form, get on over there.
Mm-hmm. Of this card, the 124 have been graded by PSA. Pop 3 is 21. So PSA 3 pop is 21. 51 graded higher. I think this card is pretty nice eye appeal. Of course, it's not perfect. The lower right corner is probably the worst. It's a little bit off-centered, both left to right, top to bottom, but it's a 3, right? Any 3 is going to have conditions. It's just more what can you live with and what affects the eye appeal versus doesn't. Now, the last sale of the 1933 O-Pee-Chee Series A Eddie Shore PSA 3 was $2,340 US dollars last March. That was also the all-time high. You got a bid, current bid, Baba Louie?
Sure do. $1,200 US.
Sweet. What's your vintage card?
My vintage card stays in the same realm as you. A 1933 O-Pee-Chee Series A Ace Bailey PSA 6. We have not covered him yet in Get to Know Your Hall of Famers. Be a little while. But
Sure.
I believe I picked an Ace Bailey a while back because after I was reading the story of him, it brought a little memory back, but we'll give you a little nugget about him. He grew up in Toronto and attended the University of Toronto. After 2 years in the university, he joined the Junior Toronto St. Mary's in the Ontario Hockey Association. In November 1926, he was signed by the Toronto St. Patrick's of the National Hockey League, who were then renamed to the Toronto Maple Leafs in his first season with the team. He was the leading scorer and in the NHL in the 1928-29 season with 22 goals, 32 points in 44 games. His career, this is the part that I remember talking about before, came to abrupt end on December 12th, 1933, when he was hit from behind by Eddie Shore of the Boston Bruins and hit his head on the ice, fracturing his skull.
Ooh.
He convulsed on the ice
Ooh.
at the Boston Garden. It was feared that Bailey would not survive after severely injuring his head, but he came out of a coma for the second time 10 days later, somehow making a full recovery, but he did not play professionally again. Bailey's jersey, number 6, was the first jersey in any sport, in all professional sports, to be retired. It was retired by the Leafs, then owner Conn Smythe, at the game organized for a benefit they put on for him, which ended up turning into the All-Star game a few years down the road.
Yep.
Bailey was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1975. Now, I can't remember the name of the guy on Bailey's team, but I guess Shore was going to go back after Bailey once all that ruckus went down, and the guy took one swift crack at Eddie Shore and knocked him unconscious on the ice too.
Wow, no kidding.
While that was going on, yeah.
Was it?
God, can you imagine? That would be cover your kid's eyes at that game. It's like, holy moly.
Yeah.
So we got a PSA 6 copy here. Looked good from everything I, zoomed in and looked at. Bottom corners on this card, if you are interested in it and get the chance to look at it on Fanatics website, zoom on into the bottoms. Those might be a little soft for you, but other than that, wasn't anything too bad. Maybe some minor ink registration issues on the top, a little bleeding of the red, but looks good to me for a card at this age in a 6th grade. This card has been graded by PSA 113 times, and the highest grade received was a PSA 8, and there's 2 of them. There are 10 graded at the PSA 6 grade. Last sale of this card was April 2020 for $600, and it's currently sitting at $525 US.
All right.
I like the look of this card. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, the red ones are nice, eh?
These ones are growing on me every time I'm walking around the expo and I come across a booth, and these are the first ones to pop out at me. So
yeah, they stand out, eh? The similar backgrounds and different colors.
Black and white player, and then the color backgrounds. Yeah.
All right, Phil, you're up. Vintage.
All right, my vintage pick is a pretty cool card. I think it's cool. It's a 1971 O-Pee-Chee Hockey Retirement Special Jean Beliveau PSA 7. So I've never seen this card before, so I had to pick it. It's not exactly a rare card or a highly sought after piece of cardboard, but I think it's worth a mention. So we have a horizontal card, and it's full of bright colors that make my eyes very happy. I find this picture very handsome of Mr. Beliveau with a very culture appropriate background of like earth colors, and there's like that, you know, big 70s kind of type of star in the corner with his number 4. Gives me like Price of Right vibes or something. It's just got a great flow of happiness and brightness all going for it. I can't say this word, but I'm going to try. It's got a facsimile auto.
There you go.
Did I say it right?
Yep.
Yeah. Some say facsimile, some say facsimile. I don't know.
Facsimile, facsimile, either
Who
or.
cares? Yeah.
It's got a fake autograph. And yeah, who cares is right. This card has a counterpart in this year because Mr. Hockey himself, Gordie Howe, also retired, his first of 3 in 1971. So that's pretty cool. But I guess 10 Stanley Cups was enough for Jean Beliveau. So he was like, yeah, I'm gonna hang him up. Yeah, like I said earlier, this card isn't very rare, especially for a PSA 7, but it's definitely worth a mention since it's a bit older. And it's different than, like, we don't get a lot of insert type of cards in our old hockey. We either get like a rookie card, which is a base card, or that's about it. So I thought it was pretty cool. There have been other retirement cards, not with this design, but in older sets, vintage sets of Bobby Orr and Wayne Gretzky, to name a few. But the cards never seem to be rare or highly sought after when they're, I don't want to say gimmicky, but I guess it would be gimmicky. It's too bad, though, because we're honoring the great careers of the people we're fanboying. So another one of those funny psychology things. Once again, we probably need a therapist on the show to explain why we're weird humans that subconsciously prioritize weird and obscure things. Either or, I think this card would look pretty cool beside a Gordie Howe version of this card, and maybe in a top loader binder, it would look pretty cool. Current bid's $15. So, yeah.
That kind of a cool card.
Yeah, it's
commemorate
different.
his retirement.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. We're gonna switch over to modern. My pick is a 2019 Upper Deck Young Guns speckled rainbow foil Cale Makar.
You like those?
PSA 9. Well, I don't know. That's why I want to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
So have you guys ever owned one or had the desire to own one of these?
Desire, yes. Had one, no.
I find the speckled rainbow foils of the weaker of the Young Guns rainbow, as they call it. But I'm not surprised you picked it. So
what's that mean?
It means exactly what you think it means.
All right, let's pause so I can cry. Okay,
fun.
well, I've been kind of on the fence on these cards for a couple of years. I've never owned one. They are tough and very expensive to create. So, you know, and again, I maybe picked it to sort of think through my thought process there. So they come from Upper Deck's EPAC platform, and the Speckle Rainbow foils are created by basically combining 15 regular base Young Guns. So if you combine 5 Cale Makar Young Guns on EPAC, you get a silver foil, and you combine 3 silver foils, you get a Speckled Rainbow foil, which is a total of 15. Now, both the speckled rainbow and silver foils are printed. They're made when the set is produced, and then they're just stored at CompC. So once they're created or combined, whatever the EPAC terminology is, you can, quote unquote, transfer that card from EPAC to CompC and then have the physical copy shipped to you. Now, where I always kind of get fascinated by these cards is sort of like the value breakdown of like how much it costs to make one. So if you go up and look up, like right now, you know, it depends on the sale, but let's say $200 is the average to buy US a Makar Young Guns raw. Right. So you're in for about $3,000
Mm-hmm.
to make one of these cards. And then the crazy thing, like this is a PSA 9 copy, they're not guaranteed to be 10s either. So 21 copies of the Makar Young Guns Speckle Rainbow foil have been graded by PSA, and only 7 of those received a 10. So you've got basically 2/3 chance you're going to get a 9. And now there's a huge difference in value then. So the last PSA 9 copy sold was for $1,500. So you make this card, get a 9, you're out 50% of your money.
Mm.
Ouch.
And then you got to think in
PSA
the back of your head. That 9 could be a 10, and the 10 could be a 9. And well, oh, sorry, different topic.
And then there you go. And then PSA 10, last one to sell was in December for $3,635. So that's not a lot of upside, right? If you got a 1/3 chance to get a PSA 10, and you're spending $3,000 to make $600 is your upside. That's tough. right? But I think they are cool. I mean, depending on the year, I don't know if I've ever seen a 2019 in hand, but again, I think these cards are really interesting. Do you like the silver foil better, Phil, than the speckled
No.
rainbow? No.
No, I'm a simplist for the young guns. I like exclusive, high gloss, and regular. Yeah, I don't like my. Well, saying that, then I want a red outburst of McDavid. I mean, I'm a hypocrite. So,
But the other way to look at this is like somebody spent or used $3,000 worth of Car Youngas to make this, and now you get a heck of a deal. A pretty nice card for
yeah, it's a different breed though. Remember the EPAC boys? It's a different different culture there. It's about the chase and the win more than the money.
You got a current bid, Louis?
310 American dollars.
So buy it in the secondary markets. That's right. Yeah, don't do the bounty. Is that what you would call it? A bounty?
No, I don't know what they call it. I'm gonna get it wrong, whatever I say.
Yeah.
All right, Baba Louie, what's your pick for modern?
Ooh. Mine is a 2023 Metal Universe 1990s Retros Leon Draisaitl PSA 9 Skybox. So these cards just resonate with me because back in the day when I was collecting hockey, but Kirby Puckett cards left and right, all my friends collected basketball. Yep. So I had to go out and buy Skybox cards to trade for all their Puckets. So if none of you hockey lovers out there know anything about basketball, these cards give a spin on the 1990-91 Skybox basketball design that ended up launching this brand here.
It's a great card design.
Yeah, it's awesome. Big fan of this set. Great pick.
I remember the David Robinson I had, but had to trade it away. So there's 30 cards in this set. They can be found 1 in 240 hobby packs or e-pack, and then 1 in 480 blasters. The card, if you don't know, is actually metal. Josh has one. I messed with it. Who do you have again?
I don't remember. Phil, you have all of them, don't you?
No, I don't have all of them. I have a lot of them though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, I'm not done yet.
Probably as a metal card, it's awesome. Looks great. I think they're super cool. There have been 0 sales of this card graded though in a PSA slab. So this may be the first. There has been 2 copies graded by PSA of this specific card, and both received a PSA 9 grade.
How do you grade a metal card?
I guess just the same
the criteria. It's a very different. Like, it's not really a card. It's bizarre. But
rounded corners, so kind of don't have to worry about much there. I don't know how much it's a metal card, so how much I don't know how they're printed, but you wouldn't think
shouldn't the angle matter? I would think the angle matter. Like, is that 45-degree curvature? I don't know. Do they have a compass? Or are they using a protractor? What's going on?
I would imagine surface would probably be the worst thing.
They're not going to say no to grading that card. They grade Kraft Dinner box mac and cheese cards. I mean, come on, they're going to grade anything.
You know what's sticking for me from Louis' notes on this?
What?
It's just another reminder. You wait 4 months.
Oh yeah.
After a product comes out, this was a case hit, and the last raw sale was $10.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I paid like $50 for one of them. I think I might even pay like $50-$60 for a Draisaitl, to be honest. Big bucks, yeah.
Yeah, so that's my next line. Last raw sale on this was January 12th this year for $10 US.
Woo!
Current bid is 12.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get out of here.
Get it.
All right, is my go?
Yeah, you go.
All right, my pick for modern is a 2023 Upper Deck Star Rookie Achievement of Connor Bedard. I never know what to say.
You better believe it is.
Yeah. Break that friggin' soundbar, you putzes. So yeah, this is one of my absolute favorite cards from last year. Bedard Mania, right into my PC. I was very selective in what I
left this for you, buddy. I saw it in there and I was, Phil's gonna pick this.
Oh, thank you, Louis. I appreciate it. And you still picked a card I really like too. That's great.
You remember when you gave me a similar card and I forgot about it?
I didn't forget about it.
Very expensive.
I think that was the only time where I legitimately felt like you were upset with me.
I was hurt. I wasn't upset. I was like, oh, I guess I picked the wrong card to buy my friend. He's a jerk. Okay, so we have a classic design here of the old Star Rookie card from the early 1990s Upper Deck. It started in 1990-91. You would recognize some of the Star Rookie cards from Upper Deck. They would be players like Curtis Joseph and Ed Belfour. But what you're thinking is, wait a minute, Phil, I didn't see this design in 1990-91. That's because you didn't. The Star Rookie logo was different than what we see on the card we're looking at right now. Then fast forward to 1991-92. They also had Star Rookie cards, and they were featured players of Felix Potvin, Tony Amonte, and some others. But once again, it had a different logo than 90-91 and a different logo than what you're seeing on your screen right now. Then whammo, 92-93, Upper Deck. We got our Star Rookie iconic design. I don't know if it's iconic, but it is for me in my generation. And of the cards, of the players we had of that year were Martin Brodeur. Everybody knows that card. Very famous. Keith Kachuk, Scott Niedermeyer, to name a few others. So I have no idea if new people in our hobby or the younger kids in our hobby like these cards. I would lean towards no, because they're kind of cheesy, let's be honest. But I want all the cheese. I want all the gluten that you don't want. I love this Bedard card. And if you don't want to jump on Bedard Mania, that's fine. So, but wait, there's more. You can find other players of this design, such as Luke Hughes, Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, and more. So there's a bunch of players. It's just not Connor Bedard. But I do have the Bedard.
Do they have like veterans too, like Kaprizov? Because I'd be interested in one of those.
Okay, so ignoring Josh, these cards in my top loader binder look juicy AF, boys. And if you're an old fart in training like me and Josh and Louis, I highly suggest you take a look at these cards and all its counterparts of the other players. Please keep in mind, my jerk friend Josh didn't remember, but these cards also come in exclusives and high glosses. I have a Bedard exclusive, and I gave my friends, I also have a Kaprizov exclusive Star Rookie, and so does Josh and Louis. They just forget sometimes. Louis doesn't, Josh does.
Thank you.
So, yeah, well, that's it. Current bid is 43 America bucks.
Great card. I love these cards. This card design makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very, very nice. Well, there we go. So to bid on these 6 cards, any of the other bangers in the current Fanatics Collect weekly auction, head to fanaticscollect.com. Personal pickups, Phil. You punting on personal
I can't
pickups?
reveal my pickups because you have to watch Friday Nights with Phil.
Yeah. Oh, wow, Louis, I like that.
You like that? That's
great. What does that look like? Miami Vice, eh? Kind of.
Yeah. Or it looks like a nightclub from Saved by the Bell or something like that. I don't know.
Kelly Kapowski.
All right. I will remember not to ever use crap like that again.
Who's your girl again? Who?
Alyssa Milano.
Alyssa Milano. Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, my 2 were Alyssa Milano.
Yeah.
Because she wore the Devils, Louis. Devils.
Oh, yeah.
Greatest poster ever.
I never saw her in it.
I was a huge fan. You've never seen the poster?
I know of 2 Alyssa Milano posters.
Never mind.
Like.
Yes, I've seen it.
Okay. And then but even more so, I had a big crush on Nicole Eggert, the Charles in Charge version, not even the Baywatch, when she was younger, because I was younger.
And you didn't go see her at the expo? Interesting.
No, because
don't you don't want to meet people you remember like that. Yeah, mine. I have a weird one. Remember Alvin and the Chipmunks? The girl Alvin. She was so cute. The little chipmunk girl. Yeah, I know she's an animal. I mean, that's kind of weird.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, I know.
I also had I had a thing for Winnie Cooper. I'll admit it.
Well, everybody had Winnie Cooper. Come on, she was like your mature. She is the mature crush that nobody talks about.
And then the other one too. What was her? Rebecca? Was that her name? Who's the other girl Kevin dated?
Oh, she was a year older than him.
Becky Slater.
Becky Slater, yes, Josh. Yeah, they had the home ec class together. That was a great episode. Yeah,
it's funny. I don't get a single Seinfeld. How many Seinfeld references did you do today? Then
none. I didn't do any.
He paused himself. Or muted.
You know what meme is great? You guys see Starship Troopers?
Mm-hmm.
You know the movie Starship? There's a meme where I forget all the characters' names, but he picks the bimbo-y kind of girl, Denise Richards. I mean, she's super ridiculous. She's perfect. But the other older trainee, he doesn't pick. And she's the wife material. So the meme is maturity means knowing why so-and-so didn't pick so-and-so over so-and-so. I butchered that. All right, let's
That's
wrap it
all
up.
right. Hey, you guys never asked me where I got that Devils jersey either. You'd be surprised to know.
Oh, all right, let's wrap it up here.
Louis,
Don't ask him.
you have a pickup.
Hey, oh, I'm sorry. Am I making you jealous, Josh? My bad. I do. It's a $98.99 Topps Mystery Finest Silver.
Is it refracting? Is it refracting?
Refractor Mike Modano.
Did you buy it just for that? Tell me.
No, I didn't, but I thought of it about 2 minutes ago. I'm like, hey, wait a minute.
You guys are jerks.
Yeah.
You're gonna piss people off with my voice, man. I'm already bad at.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
anyways, whatever. It's a free country. You go for now, so you don't have to listen. To
Yep.
Nice card. Okay, I had one small one. Still my quest to finish the Series 1 holotypes. I got the Robert Thomas.
Is it refracting? Stop it, man. You're gonna upset people.
It's my
All right.
show. I can do what I want.
20, Robert Thomas.
No, it's super funny. All right, well, that's our show.
I'm going nowhere.
If you like the episode, please leave a rating and review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, want to support us, want to chat with us on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server, please consider a $5 a month donation. Join our $2.99 support level tier on Patreon. Link is in the show description, both YouTube and podcast apps, and our Instagram, TikTok profiles, on our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, and on Patreon's website, patreon.com, to search for us, Hockey Cards Gong Show. Hey, check out hockeychecklist.com. Let us know what you think. And yeah, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Boys, the Hockey Cards Gong Show podcast is a production of Dogbox Ventures LLC. Baba Louie, take us away.
Bye.
Yo, it's the Gong Show. We're dropping the facts. Hockey cards on fire. No holding us back. Josh looking sharp, the face of the scene. Feeling pork chop pants, rocking it clean. Baba Louie in the booth, he's the man with the plan. The best producer in all the land. Gong Show Nation, let's hit the flow. It's the Hockey Cards Gong Show. Let's go, let's go. Wanna say them in show.